Whoop, whoop. There it is. Man, I was messing with my audio is just completely down. Apparently, the kid came in and did something with my audio. Absolutely unbelievable. Guys, we are here this morning. I think we have everything laid out perfectly. I've already had the coffee. The coffee's doing work, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love it. Yesterday, 317. That's how much I weighed. Today, 313. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing big things here. Let's jump right in. We got Candace Owens giving us a great little piece of audio from Elizabeth Lane. I have to say, I don't really know if you're allowed to do this, what Elizabeth Lane has done here. Don't really know why she's able to do this. I've always said I don't know, she seems great, but also seems a little weird. You know, I've been watching her come up. I watch people really closely when they come up. Her come up's a little odd, but she does do great work. So, you know, weird stuff, but somehow she recorded Tyler Robinson's grandfather. I'm sure you guys have heard of this. I'm sure if you saw Barron, that you know that is that is something. Someone said, "Go off, coach." Yes, ma'am. Yes, Jesse Lou, we going off right now. So we have that, and then we're gonna move on to you know, I'm not gonna say Patsy push. I'm not gonna say that, but it's gonna seem that way as we cover it. You know, a little Candace recap. We're going to go through that. Then we're going to go through something. Candace is kind of right about the president. You know, I was very surprised about this. She's kind of right what she has to say about the president. And then we're going to go over to Larry Loomer. Did I not tell you guys yesterday Candace was pissed? I know you guys are like, oh, no, you know. I was like, I could tell by the way she's writing. And the way she's writing over and over again, I was like, oh, she's pissed. And then how many minutes does she give to Laura Loomer in her last podcast? 19 minutes she gives that jigsaw looking, you know what I mean? Right away, I was like, oh gosh, yeah, she's angry. She's very angry. You know, rightfully so. Pictures of the kids, husband, family, absolutely disgusting. And then we're going to jump over Baron Coleman a little bit, what he has to say about Blake Neff. And it kind of leaks into what I was covering yesterday in my evening episode, a bit of the night shift episodes. They're coming back when I was covering what Valhalla was talking about, kind of intersects there. And then we're going to get into Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson and his brother actually have a lot to say about the Charlie Kirk case, and they're a little bit disgusted in how it's been handled. So you guys are going to see that in a quick minute. Let's jump right in. Do I even have my screen up? Get that screen up, good sir. Let's go. We're not going to start with, I didn't even, you know, when I say Candace is right, I didn't even know the president said anything about her. I wasn't even watching that closely. Like I follow him. I follow the accounts that repost his stuff. Didn't even really notice, I have to say, you know? Anyway, I have to start out with this really quick. This is not true. And whoever did this, you're out of line. You're out of line. Whoever did this, you're out of line, okay? This is not what happened that day. We do have to cover this still. That is not what happened, all right? That is not what happened. How dare you? How dare you? Again, this man is not Ben Shapiro sized, okay? I have love for this man. That's why he's on the wall here. Do not represent him as being Ben Shapiro size, okay? Absolutely uncalled for. Anyway, let's jump into Candace here. Let's jump into what Candace has to say here. Very odd piece of audio. And, you know, it makes me wonder. I guess they're not going to be on the stand, the grandfather and whatnot. But I think his parents are going to be. And if his parents feel like the grandparents do, we're going to be in for a wild case. And I'm going to have to get security. Is that what's going to happen? Me, Baron, Candace, can we all pool security together? Do we have to buy a compound? Ian, bring Lionel in? Are we going to have to buy a compound and have security like Tim Pool? Make up stories about getting shot at. Anyway, let's get into it.
Robinson's grandfather while he was having a conversation with the reporter Elizabeth Lane. Now, out of courtesy, I did alert Elizabeth Lane that I was sent this and that I was in possession of the recording and that I intended to use it. She said that she had already sort of spoken about her conversation with him. So I think we are in the all clear here, but apparently there was a break during the hearing and someone was lingering behind Tyler's grandfather and a group of people as he spoke to Elizabeth. And what he has to say is quite interesting. And foremost, before we play it, I want to just say that his presence in general should interest you, right? Because we have been told by many liars on the internet that Tyler Robinson's family does not support him. To the contrary, they turned him in, remember? They recognized Grandpa's gun on the news. Dad or mom recognized Grandpa's gun on the news, which is weird because the news did not actually release a photo of Grandpa's gun. They just released a photo of something similar. Anyways, the story goes, according to the liars, that they then convinced him to turn himself in. They think their son's guilty. They're going to testify against him. Now, I have told you from the very beginning that that is simply not true, that his father does not believe that he did it. His grandmother has spoken to journalists, and she said that she does not believe that he did it. Rather, and also I should say, Sheriff Brooksby did admit that rather the truth is that Tyler Robinson was essentially coerced to go in, right? We can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way sort of a situation. He and his family were told that they were going to make an arrest either way. And if he didn't want the SWAT team or whoever it is that comes in to bang down the door and hold a weapon to his face and put his parents at risk, then he better do things the easy way. But like I said, the question here is, what does his grandfather think? Because he knows that gun. It's his gun, right? It's a family heirloom. It is his gun, or was his gun, before it was passed down to Tyler Robinson. So he knows that weapon better than anyone.
Let's get to the recording.
Let's take a listen. And of course, I'm accounting for sound. We tried to use AI, bring the voices up, and get rid of the background sound. Here's what his grandfather had to say briefly at the hearing.
Some of them have a stash of eating.
Oh, they did? Like crappy food or?
Just snacks.
Yeah. What are you guys for Tyler? What are you for Tyler or the other side?
Grandparents.
Oh, your grandparents? Oh,
I'm really sorry you're going through this.
yeah. It's tough for you guys.
Yeah, it sucks. But we're here to support them. So.
Yeah. We think your grandchild is absolutely brain, but I'm an investigative journalist, so.
Well, I do too. I'm a hunter and I know what for the us actually do.
Man, you know, you're constant, I can tell you that you're very right. That's why,
And
yeah,
my dad was a cop for years.
Yeah.
He showed me all of this.
yeah, of course, but
Oh, hold up.
Man, I wish she just asked him. Simple question. Was it your rifle that they showed on the news? That would have been a real, this whole thing's a breakthrough piece of audio. But if she just asked that one question, it would have been crazy. Because if he just says no, because we already know that it was some stock image. But if he verifies that it was some stock image, that part of the story of how Tyler came to be in front of this sheriff person saying you have to go and turn yourself in, all of that just starts crumbling, right? So that'd be a great question to ask. Again, don't know that Elizabeth Lane's allowed to do that. I really don't know if you can just record somebody, right? They're in Utah. Maybe it's just like a one side type of thing, you know? I know in Austin, you can just record a phone call. No one can really do anything about it. You don't really have to get consent from the other person. It's just one party consent type of thing. But I have no idea. But she did good work. Should have let him talk a little more. If you're going to record somebody, you might as well just, milk it out. I mean, milk it. Start asking him all sorts of questions. I don't know. But he seems like he is not on board with what's going on. And his grandmother wasn't either. Now, Candace does mention this in the podcast a couple of times. The first person to speak to Tyler Robinson's grandfather, I believe, was Diligent Dennison. Diligent Dennison talked to her twice. Very odd little interview that he did with her. The reason it was odd is because she came forward and she said, I don't think my grandson would do this. He doesn't know much about firearms. Like he's not that kind of kid. He's not that kind of guy. And then the next day, she talks to him again. This is because he's in Utah. So he's finding these people. He does a lot of great work. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was in Utah doing all sorts of things. Whatever you asked him to look into, he would just go and look into it. It was a pretty cool little while when he was out there. It was pretty cool. But the next day she sits down with him again, or maybe on the phone, I forget. But then she kind of tries to like change her story. And she's like, no, I didn't mean that he couldn't have. It was very odd. I don't know if she was saying I didn't. She's like, you guys are taking what I said and you're like misconstruing it, kind of thing. It was very weird because she was pretty matter of fact with her first statement. And then she was like, hold on. Maybe she got word from defense lawyers. Hey, you can't be given these type of statements. Maybe there was something else at play that, kind of pushed her to kind of not retract her statement, but kind of correct it a little bit. I don't know. But he was the first person to talk to her. Hard interview to find because he is on X and it just kind of, on somebody's X feed. I mean, you just have to scroll to find it. This was at least, I don't know, 5 months ago when he did this interview. So it seems like the grandparents don't believe that Tyler would do something like this. They think he is some kind of patsy. They think he is kind of framed up in something. It seems like there is more than one person involved, right? I think it's okay to say that. I think my opinion, allegedly, all that good stuff, whatever. But I think that's the conclusion that they're building to. Again, I don't think they're going to be on the stand, but I think his parents are. I think his father, maybe his mother. I'm not 100% sure. So, and then also it kind of falls apart again because if his parents are called to the stand and they do tell the story about like, we saw this rifle and then we called, and that's going to be a problem because, well, I mean, if the defense actually goes, well, that was a stock image. So how'd you realize it from a stock image? It doesn't even look like the rifle that he had. How did you realize it from seeing a stock image on the news? How did you do that? You're going to be like, oh, okay. I'm not saying his parents are lying or anything. This, the whole story just seems weird. I think it's going to be a little bit on both sides. Let's keep going here. I think it's going to be a little bit on both sides of there's going to be some things that were actual and there's going to be some things that just didn't happen. And this guy might walk. This guy actually might walk, which is crazy. It just might happen. I mean, so let's move on to the whole Patsy push that Candace has uncovered here from watching that 8 hours, Project Constitution. He covered the trial. He asked me to co-host with him because his co-host dropped out last minute and I couldn't do it because I was just like, I was on that rest period. So I was like, I got to just chill. And I can't sit for 8 hours watching a hearing. I'm just not doing that. But Candace did, Project Constitution did, various other people. I think Trigger Smart even covered it as well. There's a bunch of people that covered it. But yeah, this is what she uncovered. And I think this is we're kind of solidifying the whole Patsy thing here. This is where I'm at so far.
Those were Discord messages, but now they are text messages. And you're about to hear Kathy Nestor assert, that's another person on Tyler Robinson's team, that they have not yet even been given access to Tyler Robinson's phone. Could you imagine going into a hearing and they're going to be like, look at these text messages. This proves he did it. And you didn't even get access to your client's phone? Because I'm assuming, obviously, they took his phone. Take a listen to her say that.
I also have not been able to get into my client's phone. The electronics that we have required an expert because they're so massive. We had to all get these huge hard drives shipped to us from our digital expert. I have not looked at my client's phone, and that concerns me, especially because the state's indicated they may call individuals uniquely connected to my client. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to commit you guys if you call them or not. But we've been given the names of some witnesses they may call. And what is on my client's phone, I think is going to be really important.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important too, because that's what everybody has been saying is the slam.
What happens? How did Erika get access to Charlie's phone faster than Tyler got access to Tyler's phone? Isn't that weird? Because Erika has it right now. I'm not saying she is, but for as long as she's had the phone, I'm just saying she could delete some stuff. I'm just saying. Maybe they cloned it and they have all the information. They're like, here's the phone back. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe she's just like, delete, 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 delete. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But it's very odd that she has Charlie's phone. They don't have access to his phone. And also, does the defense ever get access to Charlie's phone? Are they even like taking that stance? Like if they're thinking about, or if they possibly do bring up Joe Kent onto the stand, wouldn't they need Charlie's phone? Like if they're going to take the approach of foreign ties, wouldn't they need Joe? They would need Joe Kent, but they would also need Charlie's phone to see this type of stuff. I don't know. This whole thing just seems crazy. So they're keeping the phone from him. This next clip we go into, they're keeping the gun from him. I'll play a couple seconds here.
Dunk proof. He confessed at all of these messages. Oh, we're going to bring up Tyler. We're going to bring up Lance Twiggs to talk about these messages that he received. And the defense can't prepare any arguments because they have no forensic information regarding whether, I don't know, was Lance holding both phones at the same time and texting himself? Did it actually happen on Discord? Did it happen on the phone at all? Did they make up these text messages entirely? Did the feds make them up? Right? Because I could make up screenshots right now and claim that these were real messages, but only an expert, a forensic expert that's given access to electronics could determine if they were real, where they were sent from, all of the data, the location, to make sure that everything is authentic. Now, remember, this is supposed to be, we are told, a state case. But of course, we all remember the FBI immediately interjected. They took over everything on September 10th. They handled all of the interviews. And so what that means is that the State Bureau of Investigations, okay, that's the SBI, basically has their hands tied behind their back. They've said that. We have our hands tied behind our back. We are essentially waiting, the defense is explaining that the SBI is waiting for the FBI, Kash Patel's agency, to send them over their many discovery requests from everything they gathered on that day. And they're just not doing it in a timely fashion. Kathy Nestor even claims that they haven't even seen the gun. Imagine just getting a picture. This is the gun. Your client fired. Like, okay, can I see it? Here's a picture, man. Just trust Kash Patel. He could very much be trusted. Take a listen.
We went to examine physical evidence this past week, this week. It took us 6 hours. We did finish what the SBI has. However, we still have never seen the gun. The gun is at Quantico. So we've never been able to look at the gun. I actually think that's really important for purposes of the hearing. So I have some concerns about that.
Why is the gun being kept at Quantico in Virginia? Why is the gun being kept with the feds for a state case? Why doesn't the SBI have that? Why are they getting trickled down information from Kash? Can anybody make sense of any of that? I mean, the important thing that I want to stress to you is how abnormal it is that the prosecution, Erika's team, because she's listed as the victim, is arguing against a continuance. I am, as you know, perpetually involved in lawsuits.
Erika's the victim. I mean, yes, in a situation like that, you know, if we all didn't know her and see her doing all the things that we've seen, we would all be like, yes. But it's funny knowing everything about her that she is listed as the victim. You know, in actuality, I mean, if we're gonna be honest, we're kind of the victims when it comes to this whole thing. Right. We're the ones that are being gaslit and being force fed all this weird information. And we're the ones who have had to now interact with Gary from Paramount Tactical, interact with Graham Allen. We've had to see their posts. We have to take Officer Tatum seriously. You know what I mean? And it seems like, I can't say that it's true. It seems like they're all getting paid and we're not. We're just taking it all in. And that's not fair, okay? So we're kind of the victims here. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts. But to not see the gun, and Kash Patel just has it, whatever. Maybe that's why Dan quit. Maybe Dan's just like, wow, man, are we going to go to jail? And Pam Bondi's like, no, everything's on my desk. It's on my desk. It's fine. Just keep it here. We're good. And Cash Patel's like, I actually have a country music concert to go to. Do you know my girlfriend? And they're both just like, yeah, she's a country music sensation. Okay, so you both know. You guys both know. Do you guys have any do you guys have any wipes? My hands are all sticky. I don't know why. My hands are completely sticky. There's honey all over my face and chest and body. Can you guys help me out here? Girlfriend's just sitting there, just holding a pot of honey. I don't know why you're all sticky. No idea. You want some more? Yes, honey. It is weird though. It is weird. So now this is what we have in terms of the Bureau. Okay, the outstanding Bureau. We have, I don't even have to get into the files. You guys already know how mind-blowing the files are and how they handled that. But we have Cash Patel making sure that foreign ties cannot be investigated. Okay, blocking Joe Kent, blocking Tulsi Gabbard, right? Now we have the fact that they're kind of holding this gun. They're just keeping it themselves for some reason. I don't know, weird. Also working with the state, but kind of overshadowing the state in this case for some reason. Again, no idea why. Could be because they're making someone into a patsy. That could be why. I don't know that for a fact. Okay. But Tyler kind of looks like a patsy. Okay. I mean, he literally looks like the guy that, the other patsy from years ago, the other president, that kind of, you know what I mean? He looks like that guy. Very weird. And then we also have it so they can't get a hold of his phone. And also there is a mountain of evidence that is just so damning. I mean, this is very, very dark. Usually I say weird. Usually I say odd. This is very dark. This is very sinister. What seems to be happening. Couldn't say it's actually happening, but it does seem very sinister. It seems like they've tried to railroad this kid. And I can't tell why they chose him. That's why my mind always goes back to Mortal Kombat Ultra. That's why it always goes back there for me. I know. I'm telling you, I have all the paperwork right there. I need to just do this episode. I know that they know how to implant memories. I know that sounds weird. That's a real thing. And it's not like a Clockwork Orange thing. It's not like that. It's very easy to implant memories into people. You can look it up. Psychologists know how to do it all the time. I know that Mortal Kombat Ultra exists. I know. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I know. I think it's still going on. I don't think it's stopped. Even Gary from Paramount Tactical mentioned that he thinks it's still happening and said that he kind of has proof when he was talking to Mitch Snow, which I found so mind-blowing to me because he's on the inside. He's deep on the inside. I mean, this guy, he regularly shines Mr. Wachuka's shoes, obviously, right? Kandahar Giants, long head. You can put your coffee right there, sir. You can put your coffee right there, sir. Don't worry. No, I'll stay real still. Just shining Mr. Wachuka's shoes. Thanks a whole bunch, Gary. Huh? I heard he's descendant of a Kandahar giant. Is that true? He is. That's why the red hair. Wow. That's amazing. Shines a good shoe. Damn near took my toes off. I like this guy. I'm kidding. Gary's a nice guy. Well, he's not. He's very crappy since I figured out that he leaked somebody's nudes, but we try to be nice. We try to be nice to the giants and the Homo sapiens alike, right? We're inclusive here. Very inclusive. So yeah, seems like the kid's a patsy. I don't know what else to say, honestly. We're going to get into some people are saying allegedly. It's not alleged. He's actually a descendant of a Kandahar giant. I mean, it's a rumor. I've heard that I'm the one that spread it, but I don't know if that's true. If you say it as well, then it could be you. It's really up in the air who has been saying that. I don't really know. But I have it from good sources. Kandahar giant. That's why the long head. Ask anybody. Uh, and he thinks he's descendant of Vikings. Get that. That's what Mr. Wachuka told him. Isn't that crazy? Now let's move on to Baron. Baron's covering something right here. And it says, notice of publicity order. I believe that's publicity. Let me zoom in here. This is how old people zoom in on things. Publicity order. So this kind of connects to what I was talking about yesterday evening. I don't know if you guys saw it. I was covering one of Valhalla VFT's videos, and I found the video to be very informative. He included pictures, which I needed very much, but we're going to start with Baron talking about these guys violating this order, and then we're going to move on to what they've actually been saying, and then we're going to get into Valhalla kind of exposing what they're saying is just straight up not being true. So let's get into that. And again, it furthers the whole thing about this Patsy narrative. I hope Patsy's. Do I have to come up with a different word? I don't even know. Am I allowed to say Patsy? I have no idea. I haven't checked in. I guess I'll figure it out. I guess I'll figure it out by the time this video comes out. We'll see if I was allowed to say it or not. I don't know. I'll know in a week. When I see my revenue, I'll know whether I was supposed to say that word. But it further pushes that narrative that is what they're trying to do to this kid, because the dishonesty doesn't make sense otherwise. I don't think Blake is dumb. And I really don't even think Gary's dumb. And I think Officer Tatum sounds dumb, but I don't actually think he's like a really dumb guy. You know, same with Andrew, right? It can't be incompetence. This has to be deliberate. And what is deliberate is that, again, maybe they don't realize. Maybe it's just their opinion. I don't know. But with Valhalla and what he shows, it shows that there are people who are being very dishonest. And a couple of them are in Turning Point. A couple of them are outside of Turning Point. Again, that's just my opinion, just from what I'm seeing in regards to the evidence. But I wouldn't even say dishonest. Let's just call them incompetent. Okay. And that's my opinion. Does that save me? Am I okay? I don't know. I'll check my P.O. box. We'll see. Let's go. Baron Coleman, ladies and gentlemen.
2025. What does it prohibit? Opinions about the guilt or innocence of the defendant. Statements about the defendant's admissions. Statements about the character, reputation, or criminal record. Statements about testimony a witness might give. For example, if you worked for TPUSA and you were at the event, say your name's Blake Neff. You're not allowed to talk about testimony a witness might give, like his parents or the family friend. You're not allowed to say he's guilty. You believe he's guilty. You think he did it. You're not allowed to talk about his admissions, i.e. his text messages. So let's say, for example, we have footage of Blake Neff, and we do. I'll spoil the surprise. We do have footage of Blake Neff saying all these things. And Blake Neff says, we know he did it. There's a mountain of evidence that he did it. His parents turned him in. He confessed to them. He confessed to his friends on Discord. He confessed to his lover via text. That would be a violation of this order. That would be a sanctionable violation of the order. Now, the sanctions might go to the attorneys who failed to prevent him from saying these things, but it would be a violation of this order. There's no other way to say it. I don't know how to say it politely. And I'll go on to say, I don't believe they would be doing this if they thought their case was as strong as they want you to believe they think it is. They would not have all these TPUSA shows, the Charlie Kirk show, Blake Neff, Andrew Colvin, frankly, Erika Kirk. They would not have all these people constantly reiterating the fact that he's guilty, constantly reiterating the fact that he allegedly confessed, constantly reiterating the fact that his parents turned him in, constantly reiterating all of these facts. They would not be doing this if they thought they had a strong case. They wouldn't be attacking Candace Owens. They wouldn't be attacking your humble host. They wouldn't be attacking any podcaster. They'd be confident in their case. They'd say, well, we'll see what happens at trial. So there's a publicity notice particularly, specifically to Erika Kirk in here. And we'll slide down to that. That's right here. Publicity notice to Erika Kirk. It says it right there in the subject line. Now, I will say this. We did not redact this document. Well, we might have redacted some of it, but we did not redact this document. So that right there, that's not our fault that that's in there. They are the ones that left that in there. Please forward the attached publicity notice to presumably Erika Kirk, which is provided as ordered by the district court. We have identified Ms. Kirk as a potential witness at trial.
Crazy. So yes, Blake is definitely violating that. I think we all know that. Again, if you saw, were we dropping frames? Okay, we're in the green. If you saw the video that I made last night, then you can see that. I'm showing you. I think Barron even shows one that's similar. That Blake is constantly saying this stuff. Andrew is constantly saying this stuff. Jack as well. Jack is constantly saying this stuff. The one person who doesn't really talk about it all that much, well, you know, Barron mentions Mikey McCoy because he's listen, he's pretty perfect. I mean, my opinion on Mikey McCoy has not changed. He's majestic. Okay. The hips are absolutely wild. I know you saw the video from Fleet. She did not have to do any tweaking with those hips. Those are just his hips. And he walked away for all our sins. Everybody knows that. He's a very, very angelic person. Complete self-mastery, if you don't know. So my opinion hasn't changed on him. He hasn't mentioned anything about it, right? But also Tyler. Tyler hasn't mentioned much either. Tyler will say, you know, he'll say a leftist killed my friend. The left celebrated. He'll say stuff like that. But he hasn't really gone into the same depth that Blake has. Blake has been pretty loud about it. We're going to play another clip from Barron here. And again, this is what I showed last night. This exact thing. Because they have this this segment with this guy. It's like a 8-minute segment. And at 2 minutes and 13 seconds, they get the guy to say this. I don't even know if Barron is going to play that part, but I'll play it if he doesn't.
Jay Town laid out in detail on today's show why the new ATF report is so valuable for prosecutors in the Tyler Robinson case. Quote, there's just no doubt that was the weapon that fired the round that killed Charlie. Again, direct violation of the judge's order. Why am I going on about this? Why could I keep going on? Why could I show a March 31 tweet from Blake that said they just want Tyler Robinson to get off while smearing the people close to Charlie as much as possible? Why could I keep going on with this? Why am I bringing this up? The prosecution case sucks. They know it. I know it. You know it. The prosecutors know it. The police know it. The defense knows it. It sucks. You cannot get reasonable doubt in this. I mean, you cannot overcome the burden of reasonable doubt in this case. You cannot overcome it. Not with screenshots of text messages. You can't overcome it. Not with a gun that hasn't been examined. You can't overcome it. Not with a 30-06. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Anybody that has ever shot something with a 30-06 looks and says, that's not a 30-06 injury. Period. End of story. Innocent. Not guilty. Next case. What should we stay in the... Do we get lunch, Judge? Do we have to sit through all the evidence? Can we just vote now before we do the opening and all that stuff? Can we just go ahead and vote? And because everyone knows the case sucks, because the TPUSA employees in particular know the case sucks, they cannot help themselves. They are willing to violate the judge's order that they not speak on these issues in order to taint the jury pool. And then they're going to gaslight you by saying that we're tainting the jury pool. I wasn't there. I'm not a witness. There's no judge's order telling me what I can and can't say.
Yeah, I second that. I've never touched the taint of a jury pool in my life. In my life, I've never done anything like that, okay? That's Blake territory. That's Andrew territory, okay? I don't do that type of thing. I don't put my hands where they don't belong, okay? So that's not on me, okay? That is what he said, right? That's what Barron said? Did I mishear? I think I misheard. Whatever. Either way. Let me let me show you. It came to my head and I'm like, well, I have to say this. And then I was like, maybe you don't have to say this, Colin. And I was like, nah, actually, you know what? This is a comedy podcast. I think we're going to say it. And I had no choice. I had to say it. Anyway, let's play this really quick.
It was a Remington 30-06. What's interesting about that is all of the fired and unfired cartridges, they were all Remington. And so, you know, there are bunter marks on different batches. A bunter mark is, well, I expect the next batch of evidence to be that the bunter marks will all match on those bullets, meaning they came from the same box. They came from the same crate, the pallet of those bullets. And those are marks put on the bullets by the manufacturer, not by the tool marking from the firearm. The final piece is that we know that the fired or the expelled shell casing, right, the one that we believe the bullet came from, we know that that shell casing was fired by that gun because of the tool marks that a gun makes when it fires a shell. It makes an imprint on the shell that is unique to that weapon. And so you fire a bunch of other shells with that weapon, and if it matches the expelled shell or the fired casing, then you know that shell casing was fired by that weapon. So look, it is beyond a reasonable doubt. It is, to me, beyond a mathematical certainty, which is way beyond the standard of a reasonable doubt, that weapon was the one used to kill Charlie Kirk. And that the DNA all over that weapon, all over the shell casings, and whether they were spent or not, the towel itself that it was all found in, the CCTV showing him egressing through that same area, right? All of that leads to Tyler Robinson. And again, the tinfoil hat crowd, they must be just unraveling this morning because they're, the tinfoil wasn't working this time, apparently.
You know, I got pissed. I got pissed in my evening episode when he said that. Let me tell you something about tinfoil. It doesn't unravel. Tinfoil's strong, man. When you bring some tinfoil together and you're making a hat or you're making some kind of wand, you know, whatever kind of tinfoil person you are, you know, you might be like a Wicca type of tinfoil person. You might be making a little monocle out of your tinfoil. It doesn't unravel, man. Okay? Let me tell you something about the tinfoil community. Tinfoil community has been strong for 50 years, 60 years. We've been real strong ever since the first man who put on a tinfoil hat. You know who that man is? I don't know his name, but I know for a fact there was some kind of implant in his head and he was getting it messed with. I'm not making this up. He was getting it messed with by a certain agency, won't say who. And so he would put on the hat so they couldn't mess with the implant that they put inside of him. And it turned out when he passed away that he was right. And there was something inside of him. Ever since then, we've been putting on tinfoil hats, tinfoil Speedos, tinfoil socks, different garments and apparel, backpacks, hoodies, all sorts of things. Believe you me, the tinfoil doesn't unravel, okay? We're a very strong community of people, okay? Made up of the left, the right, the libertarian. We're all inclusive in the tinfoil family. Don't speak on tinfoil, sir. You've no right. You have no right. Talk about tinfoil. You got a plaid suit on. You know what I mean? Like you're a car salesman, right? Mathematical. Guys talking about mathematical. And we're the tinfoil people. Well, the only reason I show this, sorry for that TED Talk there. The only reason I show this is because this is exactly what Barron was showing you. This was the post. I thought maybe it was a different one, but this is exactly the same video that Barron was on there, right? So it's a little smarter from Andrew. He's kind of getting it the same way he got the surgeon to say that Charlie had a neck of steel. He's getting this guy to say this instead of he himself saying it. A little smarter from Andrew, a little smarter than Blake is, right? We have Blake saying this as well. I just want to jump over here really quick, you know, before I show Candace getting into it with Blake. Really quick, this is what Valhalla showed us in that video. I have to show it again. If you saw the evening episode, then you saw this already. But when you talk about what the ATF found, they found that it was 30 caliber round, right? This is what Valhalla showed us, that it could be any of these rounds. Potentially any of these. So it's not just that it's a 30-06 right off the bat. That's not what the ATF report showed. It actually showed that it was just of the 30 caliber family, right? This is the family, right? This is the papa. This is the papa over here, right? They're suggesting that it was like within this range. Within this range. That's what they're suggesting. That something like this hit Charlie. These are big, bad rounds, right? Very big. But also, because they just found out that it was in the family, it could be somewhere around here, right? We found out from Valhalla's video that all of these are, they have the ability to be shot from a rifle. Okay, I'm going to play a little bit of this. I know if you saw the video already, a little bit of overlap, but I think it's important.
About this, well, if we have 300 blackout, which again can be shot out of an AR-15, if you actually look at the cartridge, how much explosive powder it's going to be in it compared to way over here at this giant 30-06 round and how much explosive powder is in the cartridge of this, what does that mean? Well, this round is going to shoot substantially farther with more foot-pound pressure and do way more damage than this round. All the report tells us is it could be one of any of these, right? And the report literally says that's why. Let's pull the report back up. Okay, so now that we understand all 30 caliber means here is that some type of firearm was used. Okay, that's the best we get out of this. Not that a 30-06 was used. Or it would say a 30-06 was found. All we know is it's some type of 30 caliber. Now, here's where, of course, when we talk about being intellectually dishonest, all these people that came out and said, yes, this proves it, well, they didn't even bother telling you what comes next. Yes, the report says right here, the Exhibit 6A, which is, as we see up here, the 30 caliber damaged bullet fragment, could not be or excluded as having been fired from the Exhibit 1 rifle, Tyler's 30-06, based on agreement of all discernible class characteristics and neither sufficient agreement nor sufficient disagreement of individual characteristics. The result of the comparison was inconclusive, which means they can't prove it's matched to Tyler's 30-06. Literally says it in the report. And the reason why I guess these people couldn't bother reading 3 sentences says right here, firearms that produce general rifling characteristics similar to those observed on the Exhibit 6A bullet jacket fragment include numerous makes and models. What I'm explaining to you literally is in the report. Then, the Exhibit 6B through 6A, all of the lead fragments are not suitable for microscopic comparison. And if you're wondering what they mean by like actually matching the rifle to the bullet, so the way they do this is actually taking the round that they find and trying to match the rifling grooving on the bullet that was caused by being shot out of the rifle. So the barrel in a rifle.
This right here, what he's explaining, this could be the reason why the defense doesn't have a hold of the rifle yet. This could be exactly why they don't want them to have it, because perhaps they'll try and do this little matchup. And if the bullet doesn't fit, you must acquit. That would be incredible if one of Tyler's lawyers said that, Johnny Cochran style. I mean, you know, that would just be, I mean, some of you are not even old enough to remember who Johnny Cochran is, but it would just be so good.
Is grooved cylindrically like this, so it makes the bullet spin so it flies correctly. And so what they're saying here is that the bullet found in Charlie was so deformed that all they could tell was that it was some type of 30 caliber rifle, but it could not be matched to Tyler's 30-06. That is what the ATF report states. Not that it matches Tyler's 30-06. It says the opposite of that. All right, guys, real quick. Summer is almost here, and you know what that means. It's time.
So, you know, that's why I think that video is so important. There's so many videos that he does like this that are very, very important, because if we come back over here, we have this guy saying mathematical. He's like, the math matches up. He's like, this is a universal math, universal match. He would bet his life on it. He'd bet Blake's life on it. You know, like he's just throwing out every single thing he could possibly throw out there.
Itself that it was all found in. The CCTV showing him egressing through that same area, right? All of that leads to Tyler Robinson. And again, the tinfoil hat crowd, they must be just unraveling this. It is beyond a reasonable doubt. It is, to me, beyond a mathematical certainty, which is way beyond the standard of a reasonable doubt.
Way beyond the standard. A mathematical certainty. Mathematical certainty, he says. Oh. But then when you listen to what Valhalla's saying, reading the report and just breaking it down, there's a little bit of dishonesty going on. Now, in the video that I did in the evening, I showed a little bit of Officer Tatum. Valhalla shows a little bit of Liz Wheeler, the infamous blonde girl who's holding up phase 1 of the files. Look, in front of the White House, phase 1. She got a binder filled with black redactions. Phase 1, that's what she got. So you're seeing this weird dishonesty. Again, we could say it's just straight up, they're just not competent. We could say that. But I don't know. At a certain point, I've always said this. I say this with politicians a lot. At a certain point, if it keeps on happening, it's not incompetence. There's something else going on, right? Incompetence usually corrects itself. You go, oh, I was dumb, I was wrong. Oh, geez, okay. And then you start, getting in line properly. If it just keeps on happening, and you're a professional, and you're putting these things out, and there's a spokesperson who's looking over what you're saying, and the spokesperson is saying things too, at a certain point, is that incompetence? Or is there something else going on? I don't know. Anyway. We have Blake here. This is what he said as soon as Candace was done her episode. Actually, like pretty much to the minute. Like he timed this. He timed this really, really well. Look at that. Somebody just wrote that. We're cooked. But pretty much to the minute that she was done, he put this out like right away. Again, is that incompetence? Or is that like coordinated? Is that timing? I don't know. In the opening of her show today, Candace claims that liars on the internet have falsely claimed that Tyler Robinson's family turned him in and that they falsely claimed his parents recognized Grandpa's gun on the news, which is impossible, she says, since no photos of the rifle were released before Robinson's arrest. This is a remarkably precise way to be dishonest. You notice it's a lot taking what Barron is showing you, taking what I just showed you from Valhalla, and then taking what he said. Like there is a rule of accusing people of what you're guilty of. That's exactly what seems to be happening here. Because when one simply bothers to read the charging documents, one sees that Robinson's parents did not recognize the gun. That's not what we were told. That is not what we were told. And I'm positive that if you go back far enough, okay, I don't have the time to do this. And there's a way to do it on X where you can search certain things. If you go back far enough on people from Tyler, not Erika, Tyler, Blake, Andrew, if you go back far enough, you will hear them say this exact thing. You will hear them say that he recognized the gun. You will see that written somewhere. I'm positive of that. Half positive. That works, right? They recognized photos of the suspect, which were released by the FBI as looking like their son. Only then did they move to suspecting that the rifle was a match. And at that point, the Bureau had already announced they had found a high-powered bolt-action rifle. See, again, this is not the story that was released. Now, maybe he's correcting himself without actually saying, hey, like, let's correct this record. But that is not the story that was first told. They recognized him, and then it was said that they recognized, Jesse just did a video on this like a week ago. They recognized the rifle. That is what was said. And it was a stock photo. And that was one of the first things in this investigation that made people go, wait a second, hold on a second. That is one of the things. And even then, for them to look at Tyler, possibly, allegedly Tyler, and then see a stock image of a rifle and go, well, that seems like that's the rifle. Again, I'll say it again. The story was that they recognized the rifle. Okay. And it fell apart. I'm saying this again. It fell apart because it was a stock image. It didn't make any sense. I'm telling you, Jesse just did a video on this not that long ago. So we have that. And then we have Candace, of course, is not going to let Blake slide. If anybody's sliding, it's definitely not Blake. Are you even following the case, Blake? Yes, it is both widely and incorrectly reported that Tyler Robinson's father recognized the rifle shown in the media. Tyler Robinson's FedSlap text messages were used to further that lie. And then she shows the exact image that was put out that they supposedly recognized. Tyler Robinson's dad allegedly recognized the family rifle shown in the media. There you see it there. If I go up here, what's the headline? Let me see the headline. Same thing, same exact thing. So yes, this was the official story. See if Blake actually responded. Oh my gosh. Oh, they have him in the glitter suit. Oh, it's so good. So good. That's a Housewives meme. You guys don't even know that this is a Housewives meme. Oh my gosh, so good. I'm just gonna go here really quick. I just want to see if Blake actually responded to this at all. You know, because I can't scroll through the replies because all sorts of crazy things will pop up. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going here. Nope, Blake does not respond to that at all. And then we have Daisy saying, day 125 of Blake ignoring the Honorable Tony Graff, who is the judge, if you don't know, of Utah County's request to stop talking about the case. And this is him once again talking about exactly what they were talking about in that clip that I showed you. He just will not stop. He just will not stop. He is violating some kind of order. And I've talked about this before. Why are certain people allowed to violate it and other people are not? I have no idea. It's completely beyond me. Completely beyond me. I don't understand why. I've been questioning that since I found that video of the 4 witnesses who were allowed to sit down with KUTV of Utah. I don't know why they were allowed to sit down with these people. They were allowed to say exactly what they saw. They were allowed to break down the whole thing. No idea why. Didn't make sense. 3 of them had a military background. 1 of them was just a kid, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, a teenager. They're kids still. They're dumb as kids, basically. They're just tall. That's all. They're tall, dumb kids, basically. Like Gary. So he's a Kandahar giant. I don't know if you ever heard that. Have you ever heard that? So it's very odd. Some people are allowed to violate it. Other people are not. And we already know Erika violated it, a while ago with Jesse Waters. Why are all of them allowed to do this? It does seem like the fix is in, as you can tell, I've been listening to Lionel a little bit. I've heard Lionel say this. The fix is in, ladies and gentlemen, Oh, I have to email Lionel back. I got to do Lionel's show. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. That is enough of that. What is that? 53 minutes. All right. Let's keep going here. Now we have, I didn't even know. Candace is right. I didn't even know that he said this about Candace, that he released another tweet. I had no idea. I didn't really care. She's very right. Listen to this.
And it's not even making the news like it used to because it's just too long. You're just saying too much. No one wants to read it. They don't have time. I have a book club. Maybe we'll read it in one of my book club meetings. I have no idea what on earth he was watching aboard Air Force One on Fox News that set off his little spree of anger this time. But he wrote this on Truth Social. I'm on Air Force One, heading to Las Vegas and Arizona for greetings and speeches on no tax on tips, a windfall for our great American citizens. I am watching one of the least attractive and talented people on all of television, Jessica Tarlov. Her voice is so grating and terrible, I had to turn her off.
One of the least attractive and talented people on television. Listen. I know. He's doing terrible things, but that's hilarious. Could you imagine waking up and seeing that and being like, oh, the president was talking about you. Was he? What did he say? Oh, well, he said you're one of the least attractive and talented people on television. Oh, did he? Okay. How many people saw it? Oh, millions of people saw this. Yeah, so that's what he said about you.
Democrat sound bites are fake. She makes up poll numbers and nobody challenges her because she's so boring. I have among the best poll numbers I have ever had, and why shouldn't I? All the country does is win. CNN had me at 100% saying they never saw that before. Get her off air. She is bad for our country. I hear Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and Candace Owens are dying fast. Their numbers are terrible. Nobody believes them anymore. They were fake MAGA. And now they've been exposed. President DJT. He's definitely not writing these. Just so you guys, this isn't even how he speaks.
It's very weird. This is a very weird thing to say, that you hear that their numbers are dying fast. They're doing better than they ever have. To be like she's dying fast, that's just a weird thing to say. A very weird thing to say. I don't know what's going on with him. He used to be on point. He used to be very on point, very hilarious. He still has some things that are hilarious, but, you know, somebody said rent-free. Yeah, she's just rent-free in his head. That's crazy. And you know what it is? Candace just said it. It's not that she's rent-free in his head. She's rent-free in someone else's head. And they're saying, hey, tweet this. They're saying you should say this. They're tied up with these Zio Rangers, you know, the Mark Levins, the Ben Shapiros, that whole clique of people. His aides, the people around him, are tied up and, you know, having their strings pulled by those types. And they're the ones that are having these things written, because this is a nonsensical thing to write. This is like what my buddy, who is like, he is an avid Zio Ranger. I mean, he is the biggest Zio Ranger that you have ever seen. I mean, it's remarkable, you know. One day I'll have him on the show. Probably not. He swears too much. But this is the type of stuff that he would say. This is the type of stuff that he and his friends would like talk about, you know? Like, he'll message me every like couple days and be like, you know, Candace is a complete fraud, right? And I'll be like, have you watched any of the episodes? He'll be like, nah, I haven't. I'll be like, okay, all right. So what are we doing here? You know, you want to congratulate me on my baby, or you want to talk about Candace? What's going on here? When Candace mentioned me, I sent him that clip. He was mad. He was real mad. He's like, oh my God. He's like, you hate us all now. He was talking about, like, you know, Philadelphian types. And I was like, no, I don't hate you. He's like, you hate all of us because Candace has mentioned you. He's like, you're friends with Candace. I'm like, I don't know Candace, man. He's like, she said your name. Oh yeah, he was mad, really mad. I'm trying to get to the next tweet. There's another tweet here. Let's see.
This is not how he speaks. So I don't know who has access to this feed, but it's not Trump. Okay. It's just not Trump. He had a second tweet as well, a follow-up where I think he called me mentally ill. He called me mentally ill. Before he mentioned Megyn Kelly, and she didn't get a name that time. Sorry, Megyn. Looks like you're dying fast, because I got called like 3 names over the weekend. You only got called 2. So I'm big time now. But it makes you wonder who is actually drafting these messages, who even are Trump's advisors anymore. He used to be surrounded by sane and rational people. Now he is accusing people like me and Tucker and Megyn of being irrelevant and mentally ill. Meanwhile, Laura Loomer claims she is his number.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I put it in the thumbnail as well, and everyone knows who I'm talking about. But to mention her and then show this is just like, you know, the spirit of Mark is still at that podcast. You know, Mark was the one to put E.T. in a wig as Brigitte, and the spirit of Mark is still there. So be very proud, Mark. You've started a very proud legacy of hardcore trolling. Absolutely amazing.
#1 advisor, and she speaks to him almost daily. And that right there might be the biggest clue as to why Trump is behaving like he is off the rails, right? It's kind of like you eventually just become the people that you spend your most time with and you spend your most time speaking to, right? You become an average. And so President Trump went from Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk had his ear to Laura Loomer. And I think you guys need to more fully grasp not just who Laura Loomer is, but what Laura Loomer is, okay? I met Laura Loomer years.
I told you she was mad about Laura. And she should be. But we're going to jump over, because I think the main point, there was a bunch of things that I didn't know, and I saw some people saying they didn't know it either, that she's not actually Philadelphian. It was just a thing she made up. What? That's crazy. Are you serious? I mean, I guess it's good. You know what I mean? Maybe she called it. Maybe she knew where the country was going, and she's like, I know what side I got to put myself on right now. I know what mask I have to put on. And that's when she put on the Jigsaw mask, and she was like, here I am. Let's play a game. Mazel tov. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. She obviously knew that things were going to be like this. She knew how the president was going to be. So she was just like, I'm going to just do this now because I know this is going to be the in thing pretty soon. Good call. I mean, you got to admit it. Good call. I mean, you see how the administration works right now. Pretty good call on her part. You know, little Loomer Damas there. Little Larry Damas, right? Laradamus there. But I think that was a big point. You know, Candace going in on her. There was a lot of stuff that I already showed you when I was showing you the whole back and forth they had. Candace just put it into actual words. But I think one of the biggest things was this. Because I've seen this clip before, but I didn't bother watching it because I don't care, right? I don't care about Larry. Who cares about Larry, you know? But, I mean, when I watched it, I was like, oh, is Larry smashed? Is that what's going on here?
We'll go to like really cool restaurants and hang out and we'll have a blast.
Yes,
so
I will bring my girlfriend.
Yeah, I want to meet, what's Becca?
Yeah.
Becca,
yes.
She's so sweet.
You remember?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, you'll meet her.
You guys are so sweet. I hope it works out because like I said, I know it's all an act. Like I know everything you do on Twitter is like so fake and not real, but
yeah,
like
it's all fake.
It's so sweet that you like and your girlfriend have been together for 3 years. I love it.
I know, it's all an act.
Do you know something, like I'm gonna tell you a secret, like do you know so many people in this movement who preach trad life are like people on the side and like cheating on their partners?
That's
like,
so bad.
Like they're not even like really trad.
Let me just, I'm going to go back just a little.
Like I said, I know it's all an act. Like I know everything you do on Twitter is like so fake and not real, but
yeah,
like
it's all fake.
It's so sweet that you like and your girlfriend have been together for 3 years. I love it.
I know, it's all an act.
Do you know
Just right there. Do you see this guy? I want you to understand, right? Because I want you to understand why this is happening. Why Laura is going at Candace so hard, okay? It's not just that Candace says the things that she says, okay? Look at this guy. Who does this guy look like? Ladies and gentlemen, who does this dude look like? This dude that she's clearly very, very interested in. Very, 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 very interested in. I mean, it's like she's going in for a kiss every three sentences. It's like she's going in for a kiss. Who does he look like? Does that not look like George? Does that not look like George Farmer? Does that not look like Candace's husband? Am I wrong? I don't think I am. I think she's jealous. I think she's a little bit jealous. She looks at what Candace got, you know? She looks at what Candace got, and she's trying to get with a guy like this, and this guy is revolted. He's polite, but he's clearly revolted by what's going on. I'm just saying. Exactly. It looks like George. Everybody knew right away. This guy looks just like George. And she's all over him. So what does she say when Candace has one of these? Candace has one of these at home, right? And they're just making a soccer team of kids. She says, "Oh, well, that George is gay. He's gay anyway." Sure he is. That's hilarious. I realized that this morning. I was watching this. I'm like, that looks just like George. George could walk up. George could solve this whole thing right now if Candace would let her. If Candace would let him, and he could just walk up to Larry Loomer and just say, "I understand there's something going on between you and my wife. I just want to say, you look marvelous, by the way, today. You know that? You look very, very nice, very regal." She would just be like, "Ah." She would just faint. You know, I just hope that we can all just put this behind us. You understand? I just wish that there was something that we can do. Perhaps we all go out as friends, and I'll be there. I'll be there in a suit. Would you like that? Would you like that, Larry? I would like that very much. And Candace would be sitting there watching just like this. I'm just saying, though, if you want to resolve it, but it seems like it's been resolved already. Let's watch the rest of this train wreck. Oh.
Like my ex is like dating somebody who's like super trad life, and she was like my boyfriend while we were dating and like ruined our relationship. And I act like it's okay, but like it's really sad because like I love when people like keep, you know, tradition in their relationships. It's just really sad.
Milo Yiannopoulos similarly described, and again, he published this, her repeated assault on a...
And then you get into the weird allegations. I don't know. It seems like everybody on this side of things has these weird allegations and accusations against them. It's just very, very weird. The whole thing is extremely weird. Then we have the actual George part where I guess Laura looks into George, Larry, Laura, what Jigsaw. I like Jigsaw the best. I think that's a cool nickname to have, you know. Even if it's based on your like cheekbone structure and whatnot, I still think it's a really cool name. I would do that if I looked like that. I would call myself Jigsaw.
But certainly I learned his name when Laura dug up the fact that my insurance did pay a Tracy Robinson $6,987. We can show you that right here. As she said, you can find this in Nashville courts, and it is true. As you can see, a grand total of $6,987 for brandishing a gun and hitting somebody drunk. That sounds like a steal. That sounds like if that were true, people would be out there playing Grand Theft Auto. You could hit people drunk, driving, just vent out some anger and only have to pay $7,000. The reality is my husband got into a fender bender pulling out of a parking lot on a rainy day in broad daylight about noon, I think it was. The police were not even called because two of them got out of the car, said a couple of FUs, calmed down, shook each other's hand and said, it's not worth calling the cops. Mr. Tracy Robinson maybe had a scratch on his car. George said, I'm happy to pay. And they exchanged insurances, drove off. And a couple of days later, Tracy decided he had post-whiplash disorder, went to the doctor, and we had to pay a grand total of $6,987. There was no drinking involved. There was no DUI involved. There were no police called. And yet this is her strategy. This is why Trump uses her, because she is willing to, in her ever-present mental disorder, to go after people's families, to make up rumors, to go after my in-laws, as she has done. She has tagged them. She attacks people who have nothing to do with anything, things that most people will not lower themselves to do. She will.
Yeah, I believe her about the car thing for sure. Because if you get into an accident and you hear an accent like that in Tennessee, you're like, there has to be some money here. This guy. Because you know what I mean? He doesn't sound like Russell Brand. Russell Brand's like, "Oi, what's going on, everybody? It's all about truth and all that." He sounds like a Monty Python character, right? George sounds like David Beckham. You know what I mean? Posh Spice. You know, wherever the nice place of the UK is. That's what he sounds like. I'd be like, oh, there has to be some money here. I'm going to try and milk this guy. Especially if he was drunk too. I'd be like, oh my God, I want $100,000. I'd ask for it in cash. I'd be like, I hear the way you sound, sir. I want $100,000. Do you have it? You know he would, right? But if he was sober, you know, I don't know. And I honestly don't imagine him saying F you. I don't know. Candace is the wife. Fine. I just can't imagine him being like, F you. Listen, mate. F you and your entire family. You understand? Your entire bloodline. Okay? All the way back to the dukes and duchesses. Okay? F your entire bloodline. F the Mayflower that you came in on into America, and F whatever the part of the UK you actually came from. F you to that extent. Yes, sir. I can't imagine him saying anything like that. That'd be crazy. Come on. I don't believe him. This was the thing that stood out the most to me. With the whole Loomer thing, this stood out the most. Is that she actually said this. Okay, I know Candace reads it, but it's crazy. She says, don't pray. Benny Johnson says, you know, you can see it here. He says, I'm duty bound to take action to protect my family against those who maliciously defame and attack us. More to come. Pray for healing for some really sick and delusional people. Jesus is about redemption. The legal system is about justice. And I think this is in response to like people telling him that he's gay. Pretty sure that's what it's from. And then she steps in and says, don't pray. Don't pray for your enemies, Benny Johnson. Pray for your enemies to be destroyed and celebrate when they struggle. This is so crazy. This is so nuts to say. I mean, we don't have time for compassion for evil people. Break them down and conquer them with psychological warfare till they beg for mercy. Don't pray for them. This is crazy. That is a wild thing to say. I mean, if I have to be alone in a room with someone, give me Victor Marx with black eyes with 50,000 firearms at his disposal all day over Jigsaw. All day. Okay? This is nuts to say to somebody, especially when they're like trying to be like real nice. But this is like the mindset that she operates with, you know? This is the mindset that she has. You know, so you know, it's funny because it's kind of a tell. You know that this is what she practices. She does this purposely. So you know that a lot of things that she's saying about Candace are going to be inflammatory. They're going to be fake. That's why the AI pictures and whatnot is because this is what she tries to do to people that she doesn't like. Tries to break them down and conquer them. This is wild. This is a very wild thing to say. Pray for that your enemies to be destroyed and sell. What religion? What religion are you talking? There's no, listen, the big three of religions don't teach this. As far as I know, I could be wrong. But I mean, Benny's Christian. This is not taught in the Christian faith at all. For your enemies to be destroyed and celebrate when they struggle. And this is why the president likes her. I mean, let's be real. You know, Candace was already talking about it a little bit. This is why the president really, really likes her. Because he's just like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need. He's like, this is how I am too. So I get it. Pretty wild. I think that stood out the most to me beyond anything. And after Candace did this little 20-minute segment on Larry, this is what Larry had to say in response. God hates you, Candace. It's not funny, but it's so crazy. God hates you, Candace Owens. It's why he gave Charlie to Erika and why you didn't even get to say goodbye to him. Dude, that is so crazy to say to somebody. God hates you. Look in the mirror. Internalize how much God hates you. We all hate you. Humanity hates you. You are irredeemable. What? Do you know how wildly psychopathic that is to say? I mean, just to start it off with God hates you. I mean, at least ease into that part. You know what I mean? This is what she says directly after Candace says what she has to say about her in her episode. God hates her. Like, how crazy is that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to laugh. That's how you open it? That's how you open your statement. I mean, take a note from Baron Coleman. You gotta ease into your opening statements. You gotta pull a little string, get people a little interested. This is Jigsaw Loomer with your opening statement. God hates you. Jeez. And then it says we all hate you. Humanity hates you. I mean, just so crazy. So crazy. So, but that was her response. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene actually had something to say about that. Oh, do I have it here? Oh, yeah, she did. She said, this is the lost demonic soul needs Jesus. But the sad reality is that the president takes her hate-filled demonic advice on late night phone calls and looks at his actions. Look at his actions. He is raging in war that she and others demand. Hate is murder, and murderers have no eternal life residing in them. The Apostle John tells us in 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. God does not hate Candace Owens. He loves her dearly. And Jesus died so that even Larry Loomer, Jigsaw, known as infamously, if she were to repent and believe and walk in obedient faith in Christ, can be forgiven and have eternal life. Very wise words from Marjorie Taylor Greene there. Yeah. Good opening statement too. This lost demonic soul. Yeah. There's really something going on. I really do. I've talked about this at length. I have so many videos about like demons and the occult and possession and all that stuff. I think that's a real thing. I think there's so many times where we look at someone, like this is a perfect example, and you go, oh, they're nuts. And it's like, are they? Or is there something inside of them? And I'm not saying that to let people off the hook, but is there something inside of them that's making them do this? Have they opened themselves up to something? That's why, you know, John Mappin and many other people started thinking that about the president. Because when you look at certain behavior, you're like, what is this actually? And I don't think it's all just people being nuts. I think there's more to it. I really do. I really do. And when I see people like this, it really drives that home. I think you can open yourself up to very dark things. I've heard Terrence Howard talk about it, looking into a mirror and feeling hands on him as he prepares for a role and lets something inside of him. I've heard Beyonce talk about it. She has an alter ego called Sasha Fierce, and Sasha Fierce looks like this all the time when she's on stage, and it's crazy. Heard Nicki Minaj talk about it. Says there's a man inside of her called Roman. Slim Shady. Eminem has Slim Shady. He even talks about it in song, how Slim Shady is like this evil presence that's around him. DMX talked about it. He called him Damien. I can just go on and on and on. There's so many. It's like, there's something to that. There's something to giving away your integrity that I think is linked to your soul and allowing something very dark to manifest inside of you. And I don't think it's just an analogy of you just do bad things. I think it's very real. I think she's an example of that. I really do. So there's some other things with her. She basically just says Candace isn't a real Catholic because she lived with a guy and that she wasn't married to. Says that the guy could come on the show. But I think the real thing that hits home is right here. Black Beth Dutton has this to say. It says the same people claiming that Jigsaw is giving Candace a beatdown are the same people who think Erika Kirk is doing a great job as the new Charlie Kirk. You know, there you go. I think that sums it up pretty well. Pretty well, you know. And also, I will say this, you know, Larry Loomer is prettier than Candace Owens, and it's not even close. It's not even close. I don't know if you guys knew that. Out of Brigitte and Larry here and Candace comes in third place. I think the president would be proud of me if he heard me say that. Oh my gosh. Anyways, guys, that is the end of that whole series that is taking place. Very, very sad to see taking place. What is this? I'll just put Loomer V and this. There you go. And then we'll end it off right there. I've been writing down the timestamps. Anyway, let's jump in here. Let's keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know about this gentleman. I don't know if you know about him. This guy right here. His name is Buckley. His name is Buckley what? Buckley Carlson. This is Tucker Carlson's brother, ladies and gentlemen. And he is unhinged on X. If you are on X, look for Buckley Carlson. He is wild with what he has to say. Way more than Tucker. Way more than Tucker. He's not looking for fame or anything. He's just looking to say what he wants to say. It's wild watching him. But he was on Tucker's podcast and they discussed Charlie Kirk. And I'm going to play that for you right now because they believe that what happened with the investigation is absolute nonsense. They believe that there should be more done. And Tucker actually gives a kind of regretful statement towards the president. And I think this is a true split between the two. They've had issues in the past, and those issues have been able to be resolved. But I think this is a true split. I think it is done. I think Tucker is no longer at all ever, no matter what happens going forward, going to be a supporter of the president. I will play that for you after. let's hear about the Charlie Kirk investigation first.
Feel like he failed on a tonal level. I don't feel that he displayed enough real sympathy or focus on finding Charlie Kirk's death. I mean, killers, forgive me. On solving the crime, on using the entire apparatus of the U.S. government to solve this crime in a way that would allay people's fears of a conspiracy or other things going on. Donald Trump should have gotten up and given a press conference and said, we are going to find out who's responsible for this. It doesn't matter what the end results show. We have a responsibility as a public figure who was publicly assassinated, and we're not going to tolerate this. And whoever's responsible for it is going to be brought to justice. And he totally failed to do that. I think he failed to articulate that. And he failed to use, again, the apparatus that is entrusted to him to do that. And it's a huge apparatus, by the way, which, while the rest of America is degrading and getting less effective, I think we have a very effective, very clued in surveillance and technology and well-funded U.S. military and law enforcement apparatus that knows every detail about Americans at all times. They can reconstruct, they could tell, if you were in the Capitol during January 6th through a whole variety of means, but your cell phone primarily. They know who was there. They know who's everywhere. They know where you are at all times. They can listen in on you, but they can certainly pinpoint where you've been and what you've done. So why wouldn't you utilize that power to the benefit of justice?
Yeah. I mean, the director of national intelligence, the head of the counterterrorism center, these are people who are appointed by you to root out corruption, to, fight back against foreign threats, make America safer, but
defend our citizens against not just attack, but foreign attack. If there's any element of foreign involvement here, which it seems early on there was, and then the fact that sorry, can I continue this answer only because it makes me so mad? The weird dynamics surrounding Charlie Kirk's death, the investigation, the initial press conference held by the supposed head of the FBI, Kash Patel, who said a lot of nonsensical things behind that podium, and no one has ever explained it. What does it mean to see, I'll see you in Valhalla, Charlie? What is the significance of the number 33?
What does that mean?
I don't know. No one's ever been compelled to answer that question, but Kash Patel stood at the podium and made a very big point. He could have made a lot of points. First of all, they released video of the supposed killer, Tyler Robinson, jumping off like a 20-foot roof. It was a very bad quality video, even though they had high quality video on that entire campus. They released this ridiculous, absurd, 1973 quality VHS tape video of the supposed killer. They released all of his supposed text messages that detail all of the... If you were looking to incriminate yourself, if you had gotten away with the perfect crime, then you inexplicably decided to write down everything, every incriminating detail of your crime, we're supposed to believe that he did that. We're supposed to believe that the guy in the crowd, George Zinn, who'd been in various other hotspots like the Boston Marathon bombing, and he'd been a witness at 9/11, that George Zinn is going to just immediately erupt out of his seat, take his trousers off, and run down screaming, waving his hands, saying, "I shot Charlie," within the first 30 seconds of it. Right? You wouldn't, if you wanted people to believe.
Feels a little Jack Ruby-y.
It does, very much so. I was expecting Tyler Robinson to be visited in prison by
Louis Joyland West.
Yes, exactly.
I pronounce you crazy.
It's still young. The night is still young. That could happen. You have no idea. That could happen. I think that the best thing that Buckley has brought up here is the fact that the president does have the ability to just run down every lead and really go hard in this investigation. And he has not done that with Charlie. And he has not done that with his own 2 attempts. He had his own 2 attempts that he has not even discussed. People asked him before, are you going to look into that, before he became president? And he said, yeah, we're going to look into that. He even said that he thinks that the agency is possibly involved. So he already knew where he was going to look, if he was going to look, and then it just evaporated. He didn't look into it at all. The second one, he doesn't even touch on, even though the second one, the guy that was at the golf course, that guy's weird links to all sorts of places. Just a very weird guy altogether. Weirder than Thomas Matthew Crooks. And then this happens with Charlie. He says two different things, two separate things. I think he releases a tweet, and then there was like a statement. I think it was two tweets, actually. I don't think he even said anything in person. Or no, he did say one thing in person, and that's when Jimmy Kimmel made fun of him, and that's when Jimmy Kimmel got canceled and stuff. But even that one thing he said, he just kind of moved on. They were talking about Charlie Kirk, and he's like, yeah, the ballroom. Yeah, man, the ballroom's going to get built, and it's going to be crazy. Yeah, it's beautiful. So much construction over there. You know, Candace notoriously said he put more effort into dispelling the rumors that he was going bald than he did into Charlie Kirk. I think that's a big thing that Buckley is hammering down there. He has access to everything. He could say, Cash, move aside. Joe Kent, do your thing. Tulsi, do your thing. Look deep into all possible connections. Okay, Cash, give over everything to Utah. He does have the power to do that. He can reach down if he so chooses. He's done it before. He's doing it now. You know what I mean? Anyway, I rewinded a little bit because I definitely want to hear. You have to hear Buckley's laugh. It's like it runs in the family. They must get this from their dads.
Like absurd, like 1973 quality VHS tape video of the supposed killer. They released all of his supposed text messages that detail all of the. If you were looking to incriminate yourself, if you had gotten away with the perfect crime, then you inexplicably decided to write down everything, every incriminating detail of your crime. We're supposed to believe that he did that. We're supposed to believe that the guy in the crowd, George Zinn, who'd been in various other hotspots like the Boston Marathon bombing, and he'd been a witness at 9/11, that George Zinn is going to just immediately erupt out of his seat, take his trousers off, and run down screaming, waving his hands, saying, I shot Charlie, like within the first 30 seconds of it. Right? Like you wouldn't, if you wanted people to believe.
Feels a little Jack Ruby-y.
It does, very much so. I was expecting him, Tyler Robinson, to be visited in prison by
Louis Joyland West.
Yes, exactly.
I pronounce you crazy.
And then you have an inexplicable fast-acting cancer that kills you within 6 months. Oh, that's normal. But sorry, back to the Cash Patel thing, the fact that he gave this press conference that was devoid of any real detail that you would want in the aftermath of this public execution, but then to emphasize things that seem so random and inexplicable, like Valhalla. Who the hell knows what Valhalla is, and why? How is it appropriate to this?
Well, as Scandinavians, we know what Valhalla is, which is, you know, it's the Norse heaven. It's a pagan understanding of heaven.
Yes.
Right. So Charlie Kirk is a serious Orthodox, you know, lowercase o Christian. He's like a real Bible believing Christian.
Yes.
He does not believe in Valhalla. He rejects Valhalla.
Yes.
Like that's ridiculous, actually, to say that about a Christian man. Valhalla?
Yes.
No, we're monotheists who believe in Jesus. There's no Valhalla in my world.
Yes.
Why would you say that?
And no one's ever held him to account. He's never felt compelled to explain it. Or the emphasis on 33. It took 33 hours to bring this guy to justice. And then he repeated it several times.
What? I don't know. I literally have no idea.
So everything surrounding it.
That long stare is like, that's the stare you give someone when they're not a podcaster and they don't do broadcasting or anything like that, and they're just saying some wild stuff, and you're just like, I can't, you know that we know about this, but we can't go into this. You know that Tucker knows about this. He must. But he can't go into that. He can't do that.
Why did you say that?
And no one's ever held him to account. He's never felt compelled to explain it. Or the emphasis on 33. It took 33 hours to bring this guy to justice. And then he repeated it several times.
What?
That stare was so long. He's like, you're my brother. You know I can't talk about this. You know that. You know what dad was involved in. You know I can't talk about this. What are you doing right now? So I'm just going to say I don't know. I hope we leave it there.
I don't know. I literally have no idea.
So everything surrounding it creates, obviously, unrest and disillusionment and anger.
Can I say my favorite line? We had dinner with Russell Brand at home last night. Obviously, you were there. And his line that, the thing about lone gunmen is they always seem to assassinate people who challenge institutional power. It's kind of amazing. Your average lone gunman just goes out, who knows why, and kills people who are criticizing the people in charge. Maybe the people in charge should connect with the lone gunman community. Kind of like McDonald's and Coca-Cola got together. It's just like a natural partnership. Have they ever thought of that? Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but they're...
Their laughs are so funny. He goes, he's like, oh my gosh. I hope all their kids laugh like that. I hope it's just a huge family thing that they all have. Oh my gosh, so good.
Murder of a friend of mine, but like it is
the absurdity.
And I'm not
is
laughing
so
at the
in
murder,
your
of
face.
course, but it's the lone gunman. Yeah, that's incredible. The lone gunmen never take out anyone who's helping establish power. You ever notice that?
Oh, I have. You'd think they'd stop using the lone gunman. They've used him so often.
But it was the war that finally scrambled your eggs.
Yeah.
So that was what they had to say about Charlie Kirk and that whole thing. I think they hit the nail on the head. And I do think, I see some of you in the comments, you're like, Tucker does know. He knows. He must know. There's no way he doesn't. I mean, everybody hears about Masons. Everybody has met at least one. Everybody knows, the rumors, right? Some people say they know for sure. They usually don't, but we all have heard the rumors, right? And then when you see it in the news like that, especially someone like Tucker, to see something in the news like that, he's been in the mainstream media for decades. He must have this thing where he goes, oh, that's an unnecessary thing to say, or, oh, that's a weird thing to bring up. Oh, why would they bring that? He knows how it all works on the back end. He understands what people are saying into earpieces when somebody's doing a broadcast. He knows how all of that works. So, but he can't comment on it. Now, this is Tucker and his brother talking about one regret that he is now tormented by. Kind of like he was with the Iraq War. He made sure to say that when he first left the mainstream media, he made sure to let people know how he felt about his involvement in that war. And he was very ashamed of it. And now he is discussing what he is ashamed of today in 2026.
You and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind. Or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out.
Hold on a second. Did I hear that right? Did he say that Buckley wrote speeches for him? Hold on a second.
You and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him.
What? Tucker's brother was writing his speeches? Oh, man, that's crazy. I didn't know that. What? So that's why they were so funny, because Buckley's funny. He's actually a really, really funny guy. Both of them are, but Buckley seems like he's funnier. That is wild. So he was the one writing speeches for the president? Wow. And then Tucker's son, who has left recently, but was working with J.D. Vance. Wow. I'm telling you, this family's already presidential. I'm telling you, he's going to run. He's going to run. And let me tell you something. He's going to run one day, and if he taps Candace to run, she's running. I know you're going to be people who are going to be like, she's smarter than that. She wouldn't do that. Oh, yes, she will. If he taps her to run, they're running. No doubt. No doubt. Anyway, that was just a crazy revelation for me.
I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind. Or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people, and it was not intentional. That's all I'll say. But anyway, the question does present itself immediately, like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like, clearly there were signs of low character. We knew that.
Yes.
But it didn't, there are tons of people of low character who like outperform their character. It doesn't have to be.
Sort of the norm, actually, these days, I would say.
I've outperformed my character a lot. I don't have especially high character, right? But, you try your best. But what was this? Was this always the plan?
Looking back after the last year and a half, it seems like it kind of was. And it's easy. Well, you could get really deep about it and say, what was Butler? Like, how was it that and Ryan Ruth, I mean, he was subject to 2 legitimate assassination attempts. Have we ever gotten to the bottom? I know you've talked a lot about this, but have we ever gotten to the bottom of that?
I haven't talked a lot about it. I don't know the answer, but I know that those investigations have been stymied. Fact.
Yeah, stymied from the very top, from people who actually would have the power to get to the bottom of it.
And the motive.
Feeling. Yes,
right. Yeah,
very much. So the enormous amount of money he got from Miriam Adelson now seems suspect to a lot of people at the time. But, there's a lot of money in politics. To run for president requires an enormous, Cackling Camel Toe went through $2 billion in 4 months. So
this guy said Cackling Camel Toe. He is the one that was writing the speeches. Wow. He said that off the top of his head. He's the one that was writing the speeches and giving the nicknames and doing the jokes. So we were voting for him. How about that? Everybody was actually voting for Buckley. Look at that. Isn't that something? And that's why now, because I don't think he's not doing it anymore. There's no way. The whole family has seemed to like remove themselves from the administration. And now he's not as funny. Now he's not as charismatic. Wow. This family. These guys are like some secret Kennedys.
Sure, there's an argument to be made that you get money from those who will give it to you. It's just the nature of that game. But it's still reprehensible, and it's still a big question mark. Why would someone who has obvious and demonstrated allegiance to a foreign power give Donald Trump $250 million while he's running for president? I mean, how is that defensible? It's really not. If Russia had given a PAC for Trump, if the mayor of Moscow had somehow, assembled an enormous amount of money and put it in a 501c3 for Trump's benefit, would that have been acceptable? Of course it wouldn't have been. So what does it's so basic, comes back to the money. Like, what did they get in return for that amount of investment? And it's clear.
I get it. No, of course, I agree with every word that you're saying. I just think, given his behavior and his demonstrated disloyalty and viciousness to previous supporters,
yes,
why wouldn't he display the same lack of loyalty to Miriam Adelson? That's kind of the question. The only people he's been loyal to are the neocons and his donors.
Man.
You perfect. And I and everyone.
Perfect place to end that clip. Man. So Tucker will be tormented by what he has done. Buckley writing speeches, his son working for Vance, no longer does, like I said. Just very interesting. The whole thing is very, very interesting. So we'll see where this goes from here, because I think this is not where it ends. Their story doesn't end here. I think there will be more butting of heads. I think there will be more talking about each other. And if things get really bad, there might even be a little investigation into Tucker eventually, because we know that tends to happen with people who push against the system, right? Doesn't matter what administration it is, really. So hoping that's not what happens, but remarkable. Writing speeches. Tucker's campaigning, because he did a whole countrywide tour. Tucker's campaigning. His brother's writing the speeches. His son His son is working alongside Vance. Tucker's good friends with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is making sure that Vance is in a proper position. They really, I think Tucker knows a little bit more about what happened with Charlie than he cares to say. He keeps saying, I don't know, in the investigation and this and that. I think he knows. I think he understands. Because they were all really tight. Even aside from Candace, it seems like in terms of that political machine that was moving things forward, Tucker was a big part of it, almost as pretty much just as big as Charlie was, because he had his whole family in on the thing, right? His oldest son, his brother, etc., himself. And then he's really tight with Charlie, right? His son is probably around the same age as Charlie. So he's pretty much, in a mentor position with Charlie Kirk. And they're all pushing this thing forward together. And then Charlie gets taken out. It's like a signal, which is why Andrew says to Candace, you and Tucker, there's a credible threat on you and Tucker. It was supposed to be you, Candace. And there's a you and Tucker need to lay low. Because they were going after this little machine that was pushing things forward and becoming very powerful. Very powerful. Think about if Charlie's still alive. If Charlie would not be like, I'm never talking to Tucker again because of what he says about this lady or this person or this administration. He would never do that. He'd be open to sit down and talk with Tucker. He was open to sitting down and talking with Candace Owens. He was talking to Candace. He was talking to Tucker as they were saying these things. If all of a sudden that little machine, a big machine, along with Turning Point, started pushing the other way, that's a big problem. It's a big problem. It makes a little more sense when you see how deep into the administration they were. I didn't realize that. I don't know if anybody else did. I had no idea Buckley was the one writing speeches. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Good for him. Good for him, man. Anyways, guys, what else do I got here? I guess we should jump into this just real quick. So just in, U.S. to refund $166 billion in tariffs after Supreme Court ruling. Where'd my explanation go? I had the explanation here. Here, let me just give me a little bit of this. That's the beauty of X. I can just click that. This is not the same amount of explanation you gave me a second ago. So it says it highlights the administration launching a refund system, $166 billion in tariffs after Supreme Court ruling in February 2026 that has exceeded presidential authority. Under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, refunds target importers of record like large corporations and retailers who pay duties directly at the border, with processing via the new CAPE portal and payouts expected in the next 60 to 90 days. Reactions focus on the mismatch when consumers bore higher product prices during the tariffs but get no direct relief, while taxpayer funds are now reimbursing businesses. That is what's happening right now, guys. To the tune of $166 billion. You are not getting this money. You are not getting relief. You are not getting any type of check at all. The businesses are. The businesses are being relieved. But any type of I don't know, I was going to say incurring of these higher prices, you're just going to have to eat that. Forget about it. And then on top of that, they're going to take your money, your tax money, and they're going to give it to those businesses. Yep. Hey, everybody, huh? How many people? 400 million people? Everybody, point right here. You point right there, and you say hoodwinked. Everybody now. Everybody point right at your own face, and you say hoodwinked. That's what you say. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh man, that is sad. That is so sad, you know? People are posting things like this. You mean putting tariffs on coffee, fruits, and cocoa made absolutely no sense? Oh, no. Yeah, that's what it seems like. realizing U.S. citizens paid $166 billion in illegal tariffs, and now it's being refunded back to corporations instead of us. Oh, gosh. Amazing. Where do American consumers get their refunds? Oh, wait, I see how this works. Yep. That's how it works, guys. So just putting it out there. That is how it works. I didn't see this coming. I really didn't see this coming. And then somebody actually just posted this. You guys understand that our debt went up. Is this a quintillion? Is this a quintillion? I think this is a trillion. 10 trillion in less than 10 years, right? So, something's going on. Someone's taking money and making bunkers. That's what I think's going on with the debt. How the debt keeps going up. Somebody's making underground cities and they're not telling everybody. That's what I think's going on. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, that's happening. So when it comes to your mailboxes, don't expect anything. There's not going to be anything sent to your mailboxes. If you've gone paperless, you can also expect nothing to appear there either. Don't bother checking your bank accounts. It's completely fine. Everything's just good. It's going to stay at the same amount that it's always been unless you get paid early or something like that. So meanwhile, the companies are like, what? How much? How much? Oh, this is so good. Hold on. Do we have to give this back to the consumers that we charge? No? Oh my God. God bless this president. Oh, they're having a ball. They're having a ball. They're having a ball, guys. Just thought I'd put that out there really quick. And then also Cash Winnie the Patel suing the Atlantic for $250 million. Okay. All right. I guess that's happening. Defamation. You know, I guess his girlfriend put that together. Country music sensation, you understand. Also an investigator. I don't know if you remember when Candace, when she exposed the whole thing going on. Right? She's an investigator too. And also a lawyer. Probably put this together for cash. Good job. Good job. And she has nothing to do with honey, nothing to do with pots. She's a good lady. Sings a very nice tune. So that's what's going on with Cash Patel. Seems pretty dumb. Don't think that I don't think it's going to work. And I feel like I have this weird thing where I feel like he's not going to get the money. I feel like he shouldn't be able to do this, you know? I don't know why. Like, I feel like he shouldn't be able to just be like, because they're talking about him in terms of defamation. They're talking about him as the director, right? So if they're talking about him as the director, do you get to sue for defamation over that? I guess you do. I don't know. Oh, this picture here. This is JP Sears just saying, I don't think he has a drinking problem. He has a very strong case. I think they were saying that he has a drinking problem, right? That's what's been circulating, I guess. And this is just proof that he doesn't. That's the only reason I showed you this. Anyway, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Does some great work. I don't know if you guys have seen his work lately. Really good with a marker. Really good at redacting things. One last thing, just for fun. What's going on here? Oh, it's another person violating. All the evidence proves beyond a reasonable doubt that Tyler Robinson is the one that offed Charlie Kirk. Video shows Tyler firing the weapon. The gun was recovered with his DNA. His family confirmed that it belonged to him, and he admitted to the shooting. The evidence speaks for himself. Cases do not get much clearer than this. Open and shut. Anyway, let's play a little bit of this, just to end it off.
Talking about the 30-06. The idiot that I was telling you about early on, shout out to his service as a Green Beret, but he's a complete idiot. The guy is saying that
he's talking about Valhalla VFT, by the way, just so you know. I should actually show this to Valhalla in case he doesn't know.
Now that they've determined that the bullet is a 30 caliber, that all of a sudden Brandon Tatum is dumb because he don't know what caliber mean and what it represents. I get so sick of these people because just because you served in the military don't mean you're the only person that know about guns. Fool, I was on the SWAT team. All the guys that trained us on the SWAT team, all of our SWAT leaders were all in the military. Many of them were Navy, not Navy SEALs, but they were Marines in tactical environments in the military, deployed to combat zones. And
this is amazing. This guy was on a SWAT team. That had to be the worst SWAT team. This had to be the worst SWAT team in history. Y'all, I'ma go in. Hey y'all, I'ma go in. Y'all so stupid. I'm gonna go in this door right now. Are y'all gonna have my back right now? We already have a whole mountain of warrants on these people. We are able to go inside here. Can we go inside already, y'all? Let's go inside this place right now. Y'all got big guns? I got my big gun too. Worst SWAT team ever.
And we train with Delta. We had annual training with Delta. And we used all of their training tactics when we do our training. So it was just like paramilitary.
This guy's saying he was trained by Delta. Listen, a lot of you guys probably don't know what that means. I'm not going to say he's a liar, but for him to say he was trained by Delta and to make it sound like he's Delta trained, you guys don't know what Delta is. Delta are a bunch of ghosts, okay? There have been high-level people who are like Green Berets, okay? And they're like, well, actually, one Green Beret told this story where he was a sniper and he's like operating, he's like trying to line things up. And then all of a sudden, this guy just pops up behind him and he goes, "Where's your target?" He goes, "Where's your guy? Show me again." And he said, "Okay, so why are you?" And he was gone. Delta guys are like ghosts. I don't know if this guy's telling the truth about this. Maybe somebody that was affiliated with Delta, but Delta guys are usually busy. They're getting busy. I mean, they're doing Tom Cruise stuff. They're jumping off of planes. They're just lining things up. They're taking over countries. Oh, they're doing all sorts of stuff. Who do you think got that Maduro guy? You think Cash Patel went in and was like, "I'm going to hey, Maduro, get over here." You think so? Oh, you're crazy. Those ghosts pop up. They pop up and they body snatch people. I don't know if you were trained by those guys, you know? You guys know I love Officer Tatum. Friend of the show, of course. I don't know if he was trained by Delta. I think you're going a step too far. You're trying to say you're like paramilitary. I think that's a bunch of BS. I got to be honest with you.
And our rules of engagement were quite different. So anyway, just so you guys know, they discovered that the bullet was a 30 class of a round. The gun that's used shoots 30 class weapon rounds, which is 30-06. Those two things are reasonable to draw the conclusion together that bullet came from that gun. When you have that person on camera using that gun to shoot Charlie and then ditching the gun with his DNA on it and his family identifying the gun belongs to the family and also it being identified as the person on the camera, also made admissions that he was the one that took Charlie Kirk out and shot Charlie Kirk and killed him. All
of this stuff he's saying is not true. This is not real what he's saying. And on top of that, he's making this video because Nate called him out and said, this is what these guys are not telling you. This is what they're not showing you. And now, because he's been called out, he was being a little bit honest with that part. But before, in what he was saying, he was like, well, the ATF report says, and that's why Nate called it out and said, hey, this is not what the report says. This guy's not telling the truth at all. And now he's saying he's Delta trained? I was Delta trained too. How about that? Since we're all just talking a bunch of ish right now, I was Delta trained too, with microphones. See, the Delta guys would come in with the microphones, and they would tell us about cameras and microphones and things like that. And it was, the rules of engagement were a little different. That's how stupid it sounds. Just as dumb as that sounded, that's how dumb it sounds, him saying all that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Someone said potty trained. Oh my God. Delta Tatum. Yeah. This guy, oh my gosh, just ridiculous. But now he's trying to be honest, but then he gets into this whole string of lies. He's this is, I'm not going to say it's made up. It's part of the official narrative. He is spouting out the official narrative. So I can't say that he's lying, But these things that he's putting out as fact, like this was admitted and that was admitted. He admitted to shooting and killing. He did not say that. Tyler did not say any of this. And we don't know that he actually said these things to his dad. And we don't know that he actually, the way that he turned himself in is that we just played Candace talking about it. It seems a little fugazi. We don't actually know. And then the footage of him actually being brought into the place is actually gone. This is the mountain of evidence that he's been talking about for so long. See, this is why he's so sure, because he was just like, I was just on top of this mountain of evidence. Okay? And mama was there. She was saying, oh, Lord, it come down from this mountain of evidence in Jesus' name. And he was like, mama, I have to be up here because I have to tell Nate Valhalla VFT. I have to let him know what the score is. And it's okay, mama. I was Delta trained to be up on this mountain of evidence. Oh, it's the most disrespectful impression I do. Anyway, let's keep going.
All of that together, and then you have the gun, the bullet that's fragmented enough that it cannot be test fired against the gun, so it can't be proven that it came from the gun or didn't come from the gun. It's inconclusive. When you designate that it's a 30 class round, it's reasonable to believe that it came from a 30 class gun. That rules out a 5.56. That rules out, a 9mm. That rules out a whole bunch of other different caliber weapons. So that is reasonable. Beyond a reasonable doubt that bullet came from that gun. That's what it comes down to. That fool.
Do you hear what he just said? Oh, this is crazy. Listen to what he just said again.
So that is reasonable. Beyond a reasonable doubt that bullet came from that gun. That's what.
So this guy just went from that is reasonable and then just went a step further and just said beyond a reasonable doubt. You can't do that. Officer Tatum, you can't, sir, you can't do that. That's not how that works. You can't say something's reasonable and then give no type of evidence or logic to why now it's beyond a reasonable doubt. You can't do that. This is not how words work, man. Who are the frontal lobotomy patients that are watching this and nodding? Who are they?
Beyond a reasonable doubt that bullet came from weapons. So that is reasonable. Beyond a reasonable doubt that bullet came from that gun. That's what it comes down to. That fool said that there's no case if they don't have that. That's a lie. The preponderance, not preponderance of evidence, but the voluminous nature of all that.
Preponderance and voluminous in the same sentence, one after another. Oh my gosh. The preponderance. This guy's been watching Lionel too. Everybody's watching Lionel nowadays. Voluminous, this guy said. Spell it. Spell it. Huh? Spell it for me. I can spell voluminous. Okay. It is volume. Okay, so that would be VFOLME, eus, which would just be, the eus at the end, right? That right there. And listen, it's not about spelling when it comes to this evidence.
The evidence, but the voluminous nature of all that evidence together proves beyond a reasonable doubt that kid did it.
This didn't even make sense. It didn't even make sense. I can't wait till this page. I can't wait till this channel gets big enough that I can just say things that don't make sense and just get hundreds of thousands of views. I can't wait till that happens. Oh, and you're going to see it. You're going to see it. I'm not even going to try and make sense. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it for you guys. I'm not even going to act like what I'm saying is making sense. Oh, it's going to be all sorts of things. Oh, forget about it. I'm not even going to attempt. I might even use words that don't even actually exist. I might be like, listen, the preponderosa of the evidence is on the voluminous nature of the period, I just might say stuff like that. Let the views roll in. Sponsorships roll in. Oh, I can't wait. Tell you something. Nah. This is effing ridiculous, man. Effing ridiculous. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys that at the end. And again, he's discounting all of this. This part that Valhalla shows, he's discounting all of this. He's just straight up saying, he's like saying this, I think it was this one that he showed. I think Valhalla was saying this one. This is the round, and he's not even putting into account that it could be any of these. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's too much. It's too much. The voluminous nature of everything he said is just too much for me to handle. I gotta be honest with you guys. Okay. Anyway. Just volume. It is VO volume, right? Like fruit of the loom. So that's L. That's LOOM. M. Okay. Volume. ES. So that would be ES. Am I? Y'all think I'm stupid or something? Oh man. Anyways, guys. So ridiculous. Just a ridiculous man. I should have said this at the beginning. I didn't even think to say it at the beginning. I should have. I don't know why I didn't. But I should have brought up the buy me a coffee thing. I should have brought that up at the beginning. But I just completely, it's not a thing that comes into my head, really. I should have told you guys. This is the way that you support. It is Buy Me a Coffee. That is the website there. It says buymeacoffee.com/Coach Colin. That is how you support the channel right now. We are in limbo, ladies and gentlemen. We are hoping that this stops soon, but we just have no idea if that is ever going to happen. Somebody said Drewski. Drewski doing Officer Tatum would be crazy. That'd be crazy. I think I should do a skit as Officer Tatum. I think it's about time. I should talk to Erika and like think of how to like make a costume and stuff like that. So we are hoping that the monetization comes back soon, but it has not as of yet. We are still in limbo waiting on that. And just so you guys know, it's nothing that I said. It's nothing that I did. It was my own doing. I was switching from an individual account to a business account because I have a business and, you know, that's it. So I was just switching these Google AdSense accounts, and you would think they have it in a better situation where you could just do it just real easy, but it is not like that, and it could take anywhere. You want to hear the time window? Take anywhere from 24 hours. That's good. That's good. To 2 weeks. Okay, wait, what? Anyway, it's like a lottery, basically. So we're just waiting on that. So just wanted to bring that up, and we're gonna get into them. Let's get into the coffees, guys. Let's get into some coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys all who are supporting. We do appreciate it very, 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 very much. Thank you guys so much. What does it say? Top supporters. Oh, it still shows you. Jessica's. Incredible. Thank you again, Jessica. You have no idea. Like, just right when we needed it, too. Just, Bree, the legendary. Foo, I was on the SWAT team. Like the fly SWAT team. What city did Officer Tatum work for again? Mayberry. Honestly, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, the stuff he's saying and everything like that. So pretty sad. And it is pinned. Yes, it is pinned. The website is pinned at the bottom or the top. If you want to support, it is there. Someone bought a coffee. The ballroom is being built for the corporations that are getting refunded to have a ball in at we the people's expense so we can pay for products again. Thanks, Supreme Court. Angry face. Yep, basically. I mean, it's wild. Really wild. I did not see that case coming. I saw that last night and I was like, this can't be true. Is this real? But it's real. It's real. They made sure to make that happen for those companies. Baby Bro 77, love you. Congrats on the baby. New to all this, but never miss your show. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, guys. I should have said that at the beginning too. I always forget. Please hit that like button, guys. It helps tremendously. There are 5,900 of you guys in here. If we could get 4,000 likes, 5,000 even, it would just be incredible. You have no idea. Someone else said the ballroom, like ball. That is another speculation that's going around. Also, me and my wife made the speculation that like something's going on underground, and that's why it's gone so far under budget. But who knows? Thank you, as per the usual, for adding fun and lightheartedness to these discussions on a daily basis. Consumption of all this darkness in the world gets overbearing, and you help make it tolerable. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. Truly appreciate that. And that is, that's the job. And that's the job. I try to find the funny, Baron uncovers all sorts of things. I try to uncover the funny. That's what I go for. Steven, sorry. It says it right there too. Stephen Barton. Twitter, edible glitter. Can we get allegedly, maybe, perhaps merch and mints? I don't know about the mints, but the merch, definitely. I just have to respond to some people. I know some people are looking for me to respond to emails. I just get so swamped. I have stuff going on. It's just, we're trying our best. We're trying our darndest. So I will make sure to respond to those. Laney Lamb, got to respond to you. And there's another person offering some merch services that can help us. Got to respond to them as well. Friends of the show. Alex, Coach, first of all, congrats to you and the missus with the new baby. And you have to show the clip of the evil song EK walked on this weekend. It's called Good Time from Beat Smash. Graphics look like Showing Hell. Really? Let me check this out. On YouTube? Gotta tell me where it's at. Is it Gat Time? Gat Time, what is it? Beat Smash? Beat Smash. Really? I mean, just the fact that this is what it's called and that's what they went and grabbed is crazy. Let me see here. Is this the song? It is. It is the song. And it's royalty free? I might make that my intro. Ho, ho, ho. I might have to do it. I might have to do it, guys. I'm sorry. Graphics looks like is Showing Hell. I have to actually find the one that you're talking about, but because right now I'm finding it just has a logo and it's just like a static logo. I have to find what you're actually talking about. Also, there is a video clip going viral of Erika Kirk making a music video. The apocalypse is really near. Is it a music video that she's in? I think, is that the one where she's on the couch and she's wearing like no top, but like a coat over, and she's in like a bikini? Is that the one you're talking about? I haven't seen it. I have to check that out. Ms. Chris Viz, I'm very behind today. Just wanted to be sure to remind everyone to hit the like button. Continued prayers of healing for Mrs. Coach, and always for peace and good health for your entire family. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate. Prayers are very, very appreciated. Hitting the like button is also appreciated. It's below prayers, admittedly, but I mean, it's right up there. It's right up there. But yeah. Thank you. And she's healing good. She is healing good. We're always, I'm always checking on her to make sure she's good, and she's healing well. We're taking walks and stuff. So you're supposed to take it easy with the walk. Supposed to do like 10 minutes a day or something like that. But it's getting way better. It's getting way better. So we just want that to be healed. Not just healed. Well, I shouldn't say it like this. Not just healed for her, but also it's like, we want to make sure she heals up so we can do this again. We have another baby. That's what we're looking for. Not right away, but soon. Jigsaw is the president's Monica Lewinsky. Not sure who is smoking the cigar in the relationship. Oh man, who's blowing O's? Who's the one blowing O's with that cigar? Look into this Suitor family, and they spawned our current president. Also, check out what Suitor means. Oh, Salter. Sorry. Salter. Check out what Salter means. Okay. I will. I kind of know what you're talking about already. Can't really get into it, but me and my brother are actually just talking about something along the lines of what you're talking about. My brother's like real deep into a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to like Philadelphia. He's like real super deep. Like, I don't even think I could have him on the YouTube show. Like, we might do something and it just goes to Spotify. Like, he's real deep. He knows a lot. Baron Coleman, education is unmatched. Fleet makes bops. Coach recaps with knee-slapping humor. And Candace is the principal over all the students, trying to keep all the BS fed slop to a minimal. And Ian Carroll is Ian Carroll genius mind to help us easily research it all. I've said it before. Ian Carroll's like he's like Wolverine. It's the best explanation for Ian Carroll. He's like Wolverine, you know. He goes where he wants to go. He has all these adventures. He'll show up when he wants to show up. He'll pop up out of nowhere when he feels like it. You know, that's exactly what I think in regards to Ian. I think he's exactly like Wolverine. And I think he's doing just fine, guys. I know a lot of people are like, hey, you know, where's Ian? I think he's doing just fine. But you know, you'll see him. You'll see him. And he's still on X. You do still see him on X. If you're not on X, then yeah, you don't see him, but it's not like he's completely gone. You know, it feels that way if you only watch him on YouTube, it feels that way, but he's around. He's around. Anyway, let's keep going here. Fed slop to a minimum. Look into, didn't you just say this? Didn't I just read this? Is this repeating? Did you guys send it twice? Let me see. And then this one, same thing. Yeah. Okay. Colin, the president will be sorry. LL, will destroy him. Sit back and watch. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those people. She's one of those, she, whatever. I don't care. One of those characters that will do that. Like the same way. This is why people always talk about this. She turned on Charlie the same way. She was turning on Charlie. She was constantly going at Charlie when Charlie was allowing things like Dave Smith and for Tucker to be on stage at AmFest. And, you know, he was completely, you know, like not condemning Candace. She was attacking him the exact same way. And she will do that to the president the second he even remotely steps out of line. You know, people, the notion is that she is his bulldog. She's someone else's bulldog. And she is sent to keep him in check. She has a similar relationship to the president that Patrick Bet-David has with Adam, where it's like, you don't understand. Adam brings no value to the podcast whatsoever when it comes to the Patrick Bet-David podcast. And you ask yourself, why is he there? You know, you can tell Patrick gets annoyed with him. He has really lousy arguments all the time. It's like, why is he there? Well, he's there for the temperature check. He's there to keep something in line that we're unaware of. We're becoming more aware of it as we watch Patrick operate. But there's something there, and that's exactly what's happening with Loomer. Keeping something in line. That's exactly what's happening. And she's not working for him. When she sits down and has conversations with him, she's showing him things. When she sat down to show Tucker Carlson and show all the things Tucker Carlson has said about the president, she showed that and gave recommendation of what needs to happen, what you need to do. That's not a worker. That's someone who's coming in like a consultant. She's a whole different vibe. Really gross too. Anyway, demonic possession is certainly real, but it doesn't let the person off the hook. Yeah, exactly. At some point they said yes. Exactly. They open themselves up. Maybe they don't say yes, exactly. Maybe they don't say the word yes, but they open themselves up and they don't fight it. So anything that happens after that is still their fruit, even if the demon is at the wheel, so to speak. Yes, 100%. Laura H., thank you so much. That is very, very true. Very true. They are still at the helm. They're still on the hook for what's being done. They do open themselves up. Some people are more cognizant of it. If I could get a little Officer Tatum with it, some big words here. Some people are definitely more aware of it than others. but it is still them at the end of the day. You have to fight it. I can't say I'm speaking from experience, but you do have to get into the word of God, whatever your religion is. You have to fight that. So it's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing. And also it kind of happens, when you're talking about saying yes, it kind of happens, I think, when you start trading integrity for money. I think it slowly starts to happen then. I don't think selling, a lot of times, especially in like Hollywood and stuff, selling your soul is just agreements. You make this agreement, you make that agreement, you get dipped in baby oil, you say, yes, sir, please, can I have another? And slowly you start to open yourself up, which is why, I should get into this in a different episode, which is why they do such wildly terrible things, is because it's a practice of opening themselves up to something dark and demonic. And that's why you see them do these very vile things. You hear about it in documents and releases and this and that. It's because they have to keep upping it and opening themselves up and opening themselves up, so that very dark thing can be possess them, but also be fed as well. So it's a whole dark circle. Short Coin, congrats on the new baby. Larry is crazy. Did you mean for that to rhyme? Thank you very much. Kay's Corner Farm Chaos on YouTube. Much love to Coach, Mrs. Coach, mini assistant coaches, and teammates. How about Jigsaw saying that God hates Candace? Also, did you ever look into the meal train? Much love, many prayers. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. No, I have not looked into the meal train. I actually completely forgot about that. I mentioned it to my wife. We're like both so out of sorts. We're just like, I'm like, hey, somebody said this, and she's like, she's just breastfeeding. And she's like, so I did mention it to her. I'm using a meal prep service now because I have to start eating properly. I can't dip myself in McDonald's all the time, and Burger King and all sorts of things like that. I can't do that. So I got to stop doing that. So I have a meal prep service. She needs something. Maybe that's something she can consider, but I'll do whatever she wants. I'll get her a meal prep service as well. I don't care. I get her a cleaner. I'll get her a meal prep. I don't care. It's a Asti. It's a Asti. Coach, Jesse thinks he faked his death. Do you think he was supposed to fake it and they carried it out anyway? I have no idea when it comes to that part of it. Like, that could be a thing. I don't know. It's a hard theory. He's very confident in that theory, but I don't know. I would like to see who believes. I would love to see a debate of those ideas. The debate between him being faking his death and him actually being offed by someone. My own bias, because that's what I've been looking into. I think there's more pointing towards a foreign nation involvement than there is towards him faking it. That's what I think. But he faked it and then they carried it out anyway. Maybe that would be a pretty crazy thing. That type of betrayal. I'm good, right, guys? Right? Everything's good. We're just going to do the electrocution thing, right, guys? Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, don't even worry about it. Like, what? I don't know. Hard to say. Let's keep going here. Somebody says, I was hoodwinked by Victor Marx. Thanks to you, I can laugh and shrug and not be so disappointed in him. Yeah. I'm sure you were. He's very convincing. I think a lot of what he has to say is weird, but he is pretty convincing. If you don't know anything about him, like if you just watched the Sean Ryan episode, I missed that episode. I didn't. It was from 2 years ago. I missed that episode. But if you just hear that episode, you'd think, oh, wow, this guy's like been through the ringer, because that's who Sean talks to a lot of times. Guys who are like ex-military and they've just been through the ringer and they've had terrible experiences. But once you really get to once you know about that world, You know, once you know about Turning Point Faith and all those little adjacent little offshoots or, you know, connectors, it really starts to become very clear. And then all of a sudden you see what Baron and Candace put down about this guy. And then you see the video I showed about his eyes going black. And you're just like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? Again, to what I was talking about, someone who was opened up to something very dark. If everything he said is true that he went through as a kid, that was a practice of opening him up to something very dark being inside of him, which is why his eyes can go black when he's like exhibiting like very fast reaction or something that is not otherworldly. Yeah, I guess you could say otherworldly, you know, like some superhuman speed type of thing and precision. I don't know, man. I don't know. But we all get hoodwinked. You know. Steven, it says it right there. Come on. Steven, Twitter, edible glitter. Old Jigsaw is a pred. Man, president is absolutely deranged. All I do is win. Does Jigsaw just play all I do is win for him to put him to bed? Shh, settle down, big guy. Shh. No, Candace means shh. It's okay. All I do is win. Maybe that's exactly what happens, you know? It's so, I can't explain what their relationship is other than she is some kind of, I don't want to say maybe some kind of asset. I mean, there's so many assets inside the political movement, left and right. There's so many of them. So it's not off the table that she would be one of them. I mean, look how she operates, right? This is not a normal person. Eating oatmeal. Buy steak on me. I eat steak every day. I eat steak every single day. But when I have oatmeal, listen, all I know, let me show you something. Okay? I'm gonna show you a guy. Let me show you a guy right now. And he's not on steroids, actually. Okay? You know who C-Bum is? Do you know who C-Bum is? I want you to understand who C-Bum is. Okay? This guy, okay? And again, he's not on steroids anymore. Well, I don't even know if he ever took steroids. But all I know is this guy right here, okay? He eats oatmeal, right? That's all I know, is that this guy eats oatmeal. He has no problem eating oatmeal, right? But he puts protein in it. I tend to do the same thing. I put protein in my oatmeal. So the whole thing of your blood sugar spiking, that doesn't happen when you have oatmeal involved. When you have protein involved. So if there's 50 grams of protein in your oatmeal, that's like 1 cup, you're not going to experience all the things that I'm sure you think that you're going to experience. You're good. You're completely good. You get it nice and organic, certified organic, so it's away from another farm that could be spraying glyphosate and all that stuff. You're good. You're okay. Don't worry. It's not a boogeyman. I used to think that way too. I've done keto. I've been vegan. I've been pescatarian. I have been a straight up degenerate and just only ate pizza. I've done all sorts of things. I've been 180 pounds. I've been 317 pounds. I've done a lot of things. I've been ripped. I've been fat. I've been out of shape. I've done the whole thing. And plus my mom was a bodybuilder. Don't worry. You're okay with oatmeal. My mom is deadlifting at 72 years old. Her weight, I think more than her weight. And she eats oatmeal every single day. Don't worry. It's okay. She eats oatmeal every single day for the past 40 years. She makes it so she can drink it. She has it in a cup as she drives to the gym at 6 a.m., 72, and then she eats like 8 hard-boiled eggs. She's been doing it forever. She still eats like a bodybuilder. That's just what she does. She just does that prep. So, keto's nice, but it's actually, somebody said keto could be nice. Keto can be nice, but it's actually meant for brain stuff. It's actually not meant for regular people, and it's good for a short amount of time, but it's not good if you want to lose weight, because then eventually you go back to regular life where you have carbs and then your body doesn't know what to do with it. It's really good to get your body in tune to know what to do with fat, know what to do with protein, and know what to do with carbs. You don't want to just -1 altogether. People already learned that lesson when they minus fat completely from the equation years ago. Like 15, 20 years ago. People still think to do that. That's not good to do. And it's actually not good to just minus carbs completely from your diet. Believe me, I've done it. I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I can show you pictures of me with tits. I can show you pictures of me with pecs. I've gone through it all. Trust me. Oatmeal's okay. Don't worry. It's not a boogeyman. You'll be fine. You can eat oatmeal. Put protein in it though. Every meal should have like 40 grams of protein. Are you saying this again? Is this like a repeat? What's going on here? Okay, here. Okay, so now is there some new ones? Let's throw up some new ones here. Bang, there is some new ones. Let's see what everybody's saying here. But again, you know, if you don't like protein, don't. Or so if you don't like oatmeal, don't eat it. You know, but I'm okay. You can trust me. I just lost 4 pounds. What are we talking about here? My favorite morning news channel since Robin Maid left the airwaves. Daisy, thank you so much. Daisy, the infamous Daisy, the boogeyman. Blake Neff's boogeyman, Daisy, the greatest researcher in America, as Baron has said. Lair Bear F, my day isn't complete without Coach. Even when I tell myself I'm not going on YouTube, I can't help but watch. Thanks for brightening my day. Congrats on the new edition. You can watch me on Spotify. We are still monetized there, just so you know. So you can watch me on Spotify if you want. You don't have to go to YouTube. Marcy Richards, nunca. Put that as your name. Hi, Coach. Felt so alone after our company decided to keep us home after that. After finding your podcast, haven't felt so alone anymore with your family and the Mint Head crew. Gets me through my day. Hubby and me both love your show. Keep telling truths. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. I'm glad you guys watch it together too. Go Max, more babies, great dads. Thank you so much. More babies indeed. More babies for sure. Laura, love everything you do, Coach. Keep lighting the fire for truth with a little sparkling of comedy. And that's what I try and do. Haram, like haram. Okay, Haram Guzman. I love how Coach tried to be charitable in the beginning by saying Officer Tatum's not dumb, then eventually plays Officer Tatum saying the dumbest stuff known to man. I try. I do try. They'll never be able to say I don't try. I try to be good. Voluminous evidence. I try. I really do. Linda S, love your show. Great Tookes. Is that what you're saying? Tookes and needed laugh. Is that what that is? Tookes and needed laughs. I was waiting for Mama. I'm on a mountain of evidence. How do you spell voluminous? Like button. Hit that like button. Yes, please do. Tina D, love the show. Congrats on the new baby. Blessings to your family. Jason, man, tainting the jury pool just ain't right. Yeah, no, I've never, like I said before, I've never touched the taint of a jury pool. I would never do that. Chef Shannon, F the Mayflower. Thanks for keeping me. Thanks for keeping me laughing, Coach. Good day to you and your family, and to my fellow Mint Daddy crew. Peace and love, and thank you very much. Josephine, your are voluminous. Thanks. Thank you so much, Josephine. Appreciate you. Let's go here. Steven, Mr. Edible Glitter. Now you see the hats covering lobotomy stitches. It's for all the Officer Tatum crowd. You see, when I'm on this morn tan of Ev, I have to say it in his voice. See, I like if I say it in his voice, if I say it in my voice, I can't do it. Say it in his voice. You see, I'm on the mountain of evidence. They give you this wonderful procedure where they remove that thing inside your head and they remove it, and then you see how everything we say is the truth. You just gotta have the procedure done. Holy, that was hard. That was very hard. That was harder than I thought it'd be. Danny, did the new addition to the coach residence replace Lance's duty? No. That's so funny. That's why we haven't heard. That's the clipped Lance, isn't it? Too much mountain of evidence. Kidding. Congrats Congrats. Sorry, kidding. But congrats to you and the wonderful Mrs. Coach. I loved hearing how demanding you've been about her rest. I'll personally need a that's the clip sent to my husband. That's the clip sent to my husband for the future. Just name the price. Oh, you want me to talk to him about letting you rest? That's a thing. I think that just happens with guys. I think after you see, because like I told you, I've seen my wife just like open, right? Like doing the C-section. I think when you see that and then you see what they're going through and you see how they have to heal and all of that, I think you naturally are just like, and then you realize they can like split open. You're like, oh, okay. I gotta keep my wife safe. Like, I think that just naturally happens. I don't think I'm super different than most guys. I think most guys step into it and they go, okay, I gotta make sure my lady's good, you know? But if he's not like that, divorce him immediately. I'm kidding. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we're at some new ones here. Quit eating oatmeal. Who is this? Jelly Belly Pudding Pops? I'm not taking advice from a Jelly Belly Pudding Pop. No, but you're right about steak. I'm going to eat steak directly after this. I promise you that for sure. Someone bought me 5 coffees. Someone else, or the same someone, bought 5 coffees as well. They say nothing. Thank you very much. Fleet buys a coffee. Everyone that those TP... Jesus. Fleet's like Jamie. Fleet's a firecracker. You don't know what Fleet's gonna say. Everyone of those, I would say everyone that those TP who's have the Charlie Kirk show are such freaking nerds. We need to make adults bullying great again. Fleet is rough. Fleet is very, very rough. And I agree, you know, and that's kind of what's happening, you know, when Baron lays into Blake and they have a back and forth, that is kind of what's happening. They're getting a little reality check there. And that does need to happen every now and then, you know. Angela, thanks for the last you give me every day at a time like we're living in today. Laughter can and does make all the difference. Thank you so much. I do believe that myself. I'm very much needing laughter in my life. I always have. What does this say? Oh, Mail Lady Mama. Hey coach, first time coffee buyer. Hope you're doing well. And mama and baby too. Did you, what did your self-help coaching include? Do you have any content about the self-help stuff? I'm in a season of hard struggling right now and feel like I'm failing in all aspects of life. I could use something like self-help, I think. Thanks so much for all that you do and others. Much love and best wishes to Mrs. Coach and baby as well. If you feel like you're failing in everything. Now, first off, I don't have any content. I've been talking about actually putting the stuff that I used to do, the program that I had. I've been talking about putting it online, either on my website or on the Discord, and just like make it free to just download and just have it. It would just be like a PDF anyway. So I am thinking about doing that. I just have to put it together, and I should do that because there are people out there like that. People like you out there. That's English, right? And yeah, so there's no real content about it. I mean, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see me working with something called the habit board. That was something that I would work with very closely. I would have all my clients make these habit boards. The habits would be linked to your values. Your values would be linked to things that you feel are the most important in your life. And then there was a way we would flush out what was most important in your life. It was something called the death score, actually. It's very dark, but it's very necessary. It's not like weird or anything. It's just basically you thinking about like what haven't you done that you would do if you didn't have much time left, right? And that usually flushes out people's values when all the chips are down and your life could end. You tend to know exactly what your values are because the things you care about the most are the things that come to your mind. Other than that, yeah, I don't have anything online right now, but I will say, when you feel like you're failing in all aspects of your life, you're actually not. I know you're not specifying right now what those things are, but there's no way you're failing at everything. You just did a buy me a coffee and that worked out just fine. I bet if you really got microscopic with looking at the wins in your life, you'd see that you're actually accomplishing quite a bit. I'm sure there's things that you've done in your life or have had done or gone through that if all of us actually heard them, we'd probably be pretty impressed by you. So that's just like a story that you like make up in your head. You're not actually failing at everything in your life. That's not a real thing. The fact that you even feel that way shows that you have a want to do better. And if you already want that, you're probably doing some really good things already. So don't feel like you're failing in life. I mean, I can't tell you how to feel, but I'm just saying, you don't want to put that out there. Your words are very powerful. There's a lot of power in the tongue, and you don't want to sit around just saying I'm failing at everything, especially when it's not true. So, all I can say with that is, I'll get going on actually making this little PDF that I'm talking about. But every time that I had anybody that was failing in life, felt like they were failing in life, or wasn't executing on the things, because I have things like that too. Like I wasn't executing on sleep. I was terrible with my sleep, and I knew I had to get my sleep in check. And I've been getting better at it. And then we had a baby, and it's like, and then I do feel often like as hard as I would work. I remember like Ian would be like talking about how hard I work and like how much I put out there and everything like that. And while he's saying this about me and showing my videos to people, I feel like I'm failing because there's other things that I want to put into play. I want to work with Fleet and like make a cartoon. I'm not doing it. I feel like I'm failing there. I want to, be more connected with my wife and my kid, but I have a lot to do in my business. I feel like I'm failing there. But in actuality, when I look at myself as a creator and I look at myself as a husband, I'm actually doing a really good job. But it's just the stories that you put into your head. You can almost say it's a good thing at times, and not when you make it bog you down the way I feel like it's bogging you down, but it's just showing that you have a standard. There's a standard that you feel like you should be meeting. And if you flush out that standard, like if you actually write it down, right? A lot of people don't do this. They think about stuff, but they don't write stuff down. And this is coming from someone that has like ADHD. Like I'm terrible at writing things down. But if you write down what you feel like your standard should be, you'll have more clarity and you'll actually be able to meet these things. Now, how you meet these things that you feel like you should be doing, that's up to you, right? I wouldn't try and tackle all of them. Let's say there's 10 things. I wouldn't try and tackle all of them at once, but you can make them all very bite-sized. Now, I'll go back to the program that I had. When I would have people do habits, okay? So let's just say your values are health, right? Your health are two things that is something that you value a lot. What I would have people do with the habit board, I would be like, okay, there's going to be 2 habits that are going to be geared towards your health, right? Because that's a value that you have. And then doing the habits every day would be you living out your values. So you have to kind of know what your values are. You have to know what your standards are. And then you have to have these little wins that you can do every day so you can start building up confidence with yourself, right? They say confidence is the reputation that you build with yourself. That's what they say about confidence. So if you can do these little things every day, again, I'll just say it's health. I actually had a client once. He said he couldn't work out. He was a little bit, I don't know. He was a little nutty. He thought if he worked out, he would have a heart attack and die. And he wasn't like a big obese guy or anything, but he just had this thing where he was like, I'm going to work out and I'm going to die. And it was really weird. So I was like, okay, so we're going to make one of your habits. You're going to do a push-up a day, right? And he laughed. And I said, okay, well, just do your push-up every day. And there was a bunch of habits, but that was like one of them towards him working out. And I had him do a push-up, and we would report back, and we talk the next week. And I'd be like, okay, how many push-ups did you do? He'd be like, well, I did like 50. I'd be like, okay, so you did like 50. I told you to do like 7. Like for the week, you should have done 7. Why did you do 50? He said, well, it was silly just to do one, and I knew I could do more. And I'd be like, okay, so now you actually, it's very small. It's 50 push-ups in a week. There's certain people who run marathons every day. They do hard strength training every day. But you can actually say that you've worked out every day. So I don't know what you feel like you're failing in life, but if you can make it if you can take whatever this thing you feel like you're failing at, whatever that thing is, if you can make it really small, like what's one really small habit you can do that will help you feel like you're not failing at that thing anymore. And just start doing that every day. That is, that helps. You know, I always focused on habits whenever I would help people in coaching. Because I know, as somebody who is an addict and somebody who has watched a mother who has these incredible habits and someone who had a father who had really bad habits, I know that your habits make you or break you. So if you can just start doing something every day that's going to make it so you don't feel like you're failing, I think that'll change your mindset. Because then you won't be able to say that you're failing at everything. And you'll be able to take stock of these small wins, but they're still wins. A W's a W, like they say. So I would start there. Again, you can message me and tell me what the thing is, and I'll help. I'll figure out a habit you can do. Just message me there. Instagram or X or whatever. I'll send you a voice note on some stuff. Love Knots Coach. And everybody, please support this person in the chat. You know, if this person's in the chat right now, support them. Tell them that they're doing good in life. You know, you should all know that you're doing good in life. You're doing the best that you can, really. You know, you're doing exactly what you can do. You know, so you gotta really take stock of that sometimes. You know, I know it's hard. I have a hard time with it all the time. I always feel like I'm failing. Just the other day, I felt like I was failing. Just like Friday when I had to cancel that show, I was like, this is such a major failure. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe that I have to cancel a show because I'm tired. I was like, this is so ridiculous, you know? But it was necessary. And, you know, I talked with my wife and she reset me as she usually does. And, you know, I started realizing, okay, it's not a failure. It's just some rest. And that's okay. Anyway, Love Knots Coach would love to gift your beautiful wife and baby some handmaids. Sharing our gifts from God is our purpose. Thanks for all you do. Christ is King. I guess message me on X. Yeah, I guess. Or Instagram. I answer a lot more on Instagram. I notice like semi-famous people message me on X, and then a lot of regular people, they message me on Instagram. And I tend to get back to them a lot quicker. Cassie, EK coming out to a faith event like a Tekken fighter will be hard to top. Also, that is so funny, the game Tekken. Some people don't even know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I love Tekken. Also, Gary is the type of guy to... Gary's the type of guy to do that for bus money and walk home anyway. Graham definitely eats bananas for the shape. Much love from Europe. Congrats on the beautiful baby. Jeez, Cassie. That was a lot right there, Cassie. You hit us with a lot of imagery just now, okay? That was a lot, okay? Kate Morgan, merch idea, got mints in the got milk font style. That would be good. That would be really good. That would be a cool one to do. I would like that. Also, Elizabeth Lane and Billy were definitely at the hearing talking to Tyler's family. Yeah, I don't doubt it. They're all Billy and Brandy. They seem to always be there. Elizabeth Lane is pretty much is the same as well. I think they were both talking with Danks recently. I think I saw a thumbnail where I saw the three of them talking. Tyler, I could be wrong. Tyler's family and asked to use the interview, but they didn't record it. Some random person near them recorded it and sent it to Candace. No way. How could you be that? Nah. That's not what happened. That's what they're saying is that happened. There's no way that's what happened. There's no way. How could you be that close to Elizabeth Lane, to Billy or Brandy, sorry, and the grandfather, and you're a random person? How could you be that close? And also, why would you know that it's important to record Elizabeth Lane and the grandfather talking at that point? Why would you know that as a random person? You know, like, not everybody knows who Elizabeth Lane is. So they're not going to know that she's an investigative journalist. They're not going to know that, right? And not everybody knows who the grandfather is. So how would that even happen? That's what they're saying. And maybe I shouldn't even be saying this, but it sounds like that's what they're saying to kind of guard themselves. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. I don't know. It's from the sound of it, it sounds like Elizabeth recorded it. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. I could be 100% wrong, but that's what it sounds like. If they had recorded it, it would have been used. They would have used it on the X Live and YouTube shows they did about the hearing. Maybe. Unless you're not supposed to do that. Get your wife some eggs. My wife is allergic to eggs, actually. And our baby is, too. Very allergic. Every time the baby eats eggs, throws up. Wife has an allergy to eggs. Wife's dad has an allergy to eggs. Also would throw up and get sick if he eats eggs. Crazy. Crazy what they worked into my bloodline, you know? They all cough when they eat, too. When my toddler and my wife and her dad are all sitting in a row, they'll be eating, and each one of them will start coughing. It is the funniest thing. Like, and I'm looking, I'm like, there's 3 people. Why are you all coughing right now while you're eating? What's happening right now? Are you guys good? Are you guys okay? It's the funniest thing to watch. Wow, you know? Truly, she is truly the mother, you know? But yeah, I don't know about that whole recording thing. Well, we'll see. I mean, you know, hopefully I didn't say anything wrong just now, but I don't know. Just wanted to contribute to the not living in a box fund. Thank you very much, Chantal. Love your show. Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you very, very much. I think, you know, it's fine. You know, it's like what it's late April, guys. Like, you know, in a box wouldn't be the worst thing, you know. Became a monthly supporter. GM Coach, love the show. Congrats on the new arrival and time for your birthday present. Can't do memes, but I'm imagining the baby came home in Coach's onesie and Coach diapers and bag. Okay, the list could go on and on. Yeah, we did have matching hoodies. I always make sure I did that with the girl too. You know, I made sure that she went home in basically what I wear, like a hoodie, you know. That's the tradition. The babies wear hoodies when they go home, you know. That's the first thing they wear. I like it, you know. So you're kind of right, actually. Dallas Wonderland, you are so appreciated. Thank you for all you do. Also look into keto/carnivore lifestyle. Sugar and carbs nunca. If you instead eat primarily animal fat and protein, you'll transform yourself. I lost 35 pounds just eating ribeye, steak, butter daily. I am now in the best shape of my life at 58. Others have lost hundreds of pounds and healed. Yeah, I did it too. I lost 75 pounds that way. And then when you incorporate carbs back into your life, because, you know, in my mind you should, yeah, your body's out of whack. It's long term. If you stay with it, it can stay good, but you know, it's not for me. Definitely not. I've done it already before. I was pretty good at it too. Staying keto. I had keto strips. I had a little thing that I breathe into so I could see all my ketones and, you know, what level of ketosis I was at. Like I know the whole thing pretty well, but it's not fun. It's definitely not fun. Not fun for me. I believe they send out Jigsaw to interrupt Candace from the investigation. They made 10 movies about going to bed with Larry Loomer, allegedly. Really? Oh, man. But yeah, that is actually a good theory. That is a good theory because that's exactly, it didn't disrupt completely. Candace is still going to do what Candace does. You know, she's clearly a multitasker in that sense. But yeah, she definitely, like I said, she got 20 minutes dedicated to her in the podcast. Tracy Miller, Coach, you are such a bright light in this crazy world. Congratulations on the new baby. Sending love to your family. Your show rocks and look forward to your videos. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. Someone here says, keep up the good work. Thank you very, very much. I can hear the baby screaming. Terrible twos is a real thing, you know? Babies just go nuts. Husky Mom, thanks for all you do, Coach. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Husky Mom, 1987. Viva Jesse V. Happy birthday and congratulations, Coach. Much love to you and the missus. Again, keep up the good work. Again, see, sometimes it repeats. That's the only problem with the coffee. Unless you guys did it twice, then you're much appreciated. Laura K. or Laura Rack? Lorak? Is it Lorak? Appreciate your show. You break down the news of the day and make me laugh too. Everyone needs a laugh to laugh every day. Thanks, Coach. Blessings to you and your family. It's so true. I think everybody does need to laugh every day. Every single day. You know, a day without laughter is crazy, in my opinion. Thanks for the weekly breakdowns and entertainment. Oh, yeah. And the impressions. Congrats on the new family edition. Thank you very much. And thank you very much. Appreciate you. Vicky, love your reports that summarize the highlights of unusual news. Please buy yourself and the missus a coffee. Did I drink coffee today? I think I did. Coffee is great. It's actually working. It's working famously today. Sherwin, what is this? Sherwin Debbie. There you go. Okay. You're the best. Have me laughing every day. Your imitations are the best. Candace, Barron, and you make my day every day. Perfection. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. I think I can speak for them when I say that. Let's keep going here. Natalie G. I've just spent 30 minutes explaining to my hubby who Fleet is after he walked in just as EK's updated walkout music was blaring. My husband... yeah, the husband song. He saw you pop up on the screen and he's like, hey, there's Poppy. Wow. We are 50 years young people who walked around the DR on vacation singing I Know Black Poppy. Huge fans from Kentucky. I love Kentucky. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Kentucky's a great place. That's one of the places I would live. I love Kentucky. When we were out there, it was so beautiful. So beautiful. And the people were just great. I love Kentucky. I love the South. The South is just the best. The best. I love it. Cindy Carter. I think that's Carter. You are the best. Keep up the good work. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Thank you so much. And what do we have here? What is this? Oh, is this your email? Let me get off of here. Oh gosh, I just lost everything. Oh no. Oh no. Here, let me go back here. Don't put your email as your name. Somebody might come after you. I don't know. Somebody might send you weird stuff. You know, some people send pictures of things. You know what I mean. You gotta protect yourself out there, lady. Here, let me just make sure that you're all good here. I don't want people to see your email. You know, Natalie G, Cinder. Here. Good show, made my morning. Great show, made my morning. Okay, thank you so much. I just don't want people to see your email. Unless you don't care. I don't know. Mike Riley, in honor of WrestleMania this past weekend, Fleet should 100% make Erika Kirk versus The Rock for the presidency. That's actually a funny idea. Have her come out looking like The Undertaker, and Ben Shapiro could be holding Charlie's urn. Like Paul Bearer, that is a great... Oh, for people who don't know wrestling, that is a great visualization. That is great. Because Paul Bearer was the Paul Bear, right? Pretty clever name, huh? And he was small. He was very small, and he could be holding the urn, and she could be the Undertaker, because she seems like she is evil. And that is a great idea. Mike Riley, ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show. Moira! Happy to have you back today. I heard E-Care fun. And I think that's it. Let me just double check to make sure there's no new ones that popped up. I like to get everybody. I think some new ones actually did pop up. Love your George impression more than Tatum. Thank you so much for your light. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Lisa M. Chester's mom catching up on 1.5 speed. Your officer Tally Tatum has me laughing so loud, and my coworkers keep asking if I'm okay. I cannot explain why I'm laughing. The disrespect is priceless. Love to you and your family. Almost spit out my drink on a coworker with the Patel again. That's so funny. That is so funny, especially with the coworkers, because you can't explain it. You can't explain it. You play it, and they're just going to be like, you're listening to a racist impression of a black person. This is not funny. It'll be like, no, he because the guy's doing it. He is black. It's just, no, you don't understand. No, you don't get it. Oh yeah, you can't explain. You can't explain. Don't even bother. Lady B attitudes. Okay. Has anyone even heard Tyler or his family admit that his lover was a furry guy? He clammed up completely, and his family has said only 2% truth has hit the fan, has been, I know what you're talking about. Only 2% of what you hear is true. That's true. I don't know. Somebody was saying the furry thing was just based on that one picture where he's wearing that thing. And that could be true. At first I was like, nah, that's not true. Like, he was a legit furry, because why would you say that? But then if like you thought about it, someone like Benny Johnson, not to call out Benny Johnson, but I'm just saying someone who is like super hardcore conservative company man, does whatever the administration says. He would see something like that and be like, oh, what is this guy, a furry? Like, what is this? Oh, he must be some kind of furry. So this is his furry lover. Like, it could have been that. I don't know. So I don't know if anybody's actually come forward knowing for sure if he was a furry. But we'll see. We will learn all of that. I'm sure that's one of the questions the defense or prosecution will ask. Are you actually a furry? Is that actually a thing that you do? I'm sure somebody will ask him. Coach, you make me laugh, Tucker style. Regarding the UGA student clip you played yesterday, did you catch when JD was inconsistent with his verb tense? Went from saying hated DJT to hates. Really? Stuck out like a sore thumb to me. Check it out. I did not realize that at all. I completely missed that. That's interesting. Maybe he's in the White House. Maybe that's where he's been hiding. Him and Charlie just hanging out in the White House in the ballroom, the ballroom, just underground. Mike Riley. Okay, so there you go. That is, oh, wait. There's some below that I have not read today. I don't know how to support your coffee, but on YouTube, I'm Chanley. Watch your show every morning. Love it. I can't have coffee. I have ADHD. It does the reverse and puts me to sleep. Anything with caffeine knocks me out. How about a shot? That's interesting, because I noticed that too. Is that why? Because I don't know if I have ADHD. My brother says I do. Because he's 12 years older than me. He's watched me since I was a little kid. He's like, yeah. He's like, you were very hyperactive as a kid. He's like, and then you started smoking weed and it went away, but it didn't actually go away. And now that I'm sober, it's coming back. That's the theory. But I notice coffee does that to me too. I drink it and I'm good for a little bit, but right now I feel like I could just go to sleep. Is that what's going on? Oh man. I hope not. That sucks if that's what's happening. Again, it goes away. I don't know why it keeps doing this, guys. But anyway, just wanted to show that. And then, I have a bikini. I was a bikini competitor and used to drink egg whites and oats a lot. Also, side note, I know people who hung around C-Bum. He was definitely on roids. Yeah, of course he was. Of course he was. I'm saying he's not now. Now that he's retired, because he actually retired. Now he's not doing. He's probably on something like enclomiphene or something like that right now, trying to probably repair his system. Maybe. Weird though, because he has kids. Usually that stuff messes you up that way. So, but yeah, he was definitely on that. 100%. But still, even you drinking oats, egg whites all the time, it's a thing. It's a thing. A lot of people don't get it. You should have explained why it's a thing. Explain that. Because I know, just because my mom was a bodybuilder. I've been watching her do it since I was 9 years old. And I used to hang around bodybuilders, and she knew some Mr. Olympia type people. I think somebody actually won Mr. Olympia that we knew. I think I actually watched him win Mr. Olympia. But yeah, she was a bodybuilder way back in the day. Anyway, that is the last one, guys. Thank you so much for supporting this. Please hit the like button. It helps so much. Oh, somebody said, enjoy your voluminous cup of coffee. Thank you very much. I will enjoy a voluminous cup of coffee. Thank you guys so much. We are at 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for hanging in there. I have to say, boom, we have the members here. Sent a membership. David. Heather sent a membership. Bella Stella sent a membership. Caramel Kiss says, you gave a detailed and heavy, scary description of LL. Then proceeded to say, she's real gross too. I don't know why that made me laugh out loud. But feeling what you're saying, that's so funny. That is so funny. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for coming out. We will be back tomorrow, 100%, 10 a.m. sharp. If you notice, I've been on time, guys. I've been doing it. That's what we're doing from now on, 10 a.m. We're going to stay consistent. Okay? We're going to stay consistent at the 10 a.m. So I will be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about all sorts of stuff. Can't wait for Candace's stuff to come out. Can't wait. There's some episodes that I got to watch. I got to check out Lionel and Jimmy Dore. I got to check out, I think it was Lionel and Barron. I have to check out a bunch of stuff that's gone down recently and bring you the highlights because that's stuff that I definitely want to see. But just thank you guys so much for stopping in. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for hitting the like button, please. It would be much appreciated. And that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, Candace is going live today. Barron, is it Tuesday today? I think Barron's not going live today, but either way, yeah, make sure to check out Candace for sure. And that's it. I'm out of here. Enjoy the clip channel. Don't forget, we have a clip channel as well. We are putting clip channels out, we're putting clips out all day.